The main character only appeared to save his friends, but he completely shocked the Master of Speed, because that flash step just now was just him moving casually before launching a basic kick. It sent that master flying through a mountain range hundreds of kilometers long. The terrifying power knocked him unconscious on the spot, and not only that, the main character also possesses the Lord's skill. Any enemy or monster below his level will become his servant after death. It turns out this is a warped world where angels have betrayed humanity, becoming playthings for demons. This caused the heroes all over the world to be completely wiped out, leaving only the main character to resist. But the demon just flicked 2 fingers and his body was lifted into the air. Then he was crushed by him, but at that moment, the demon lord system appeared in the main character's mind and he was transported to an altar. On the altar were 10 steel coffins, and then the system interface appeared. It announced that the main character had become a new demon lord and received the demon summoning skill, which could turn the souls of demons with a lower level into his permanent servants. He could also temporarily enslave demons of a lower rank, but for all these years he had followed the light and fought against demons, yet now he had been turned into a demon lord. But on second thought, with this power, he could get revenge on the angels. The angels acted as double agents for the demons, only to be killed by them in the end. This outcome was truly ironic, so the main character decided he had to seize this opportunity. As soon as he finished his thought, a steel coffin emitted a terrifying energy, then shot a beam of that energy towards the altar where the main character was standing. The altar then transferred all the energy into the main character's body. Once the absorption was complete, he was sent back to reality. From now on, he would definitely make those angels pay the price. At the same time, in front of the main character's grave, his best friend was blaming him for leaving him all alone. Just then, he suddenly heard a familiar voice. "The least you could do is make a proper headstone for me, you know?" After seeing the main character, his friend was in complete shock. Then, with tears and snot everywhere, he told the main character, "Everyone thought you were dead. I even tended to your grave for 5 years." The main character didn't expect that. While he was only at the altar for a moment, 5 years had passed in the real world. On the way back, the main character saw a statue, a giant sculpture of an angel. Din Fong said that during the final battle, humans erected the sculpture to worship the angels after they defeated the demons. Vin Tun's voice was cold. "The angels defeated the demons, are you kidding me?" Din Fong insisted. "Yes, that's right. If you hadn't told me the truth, I almost would have believed the angels' bullshit. Let's talk about this later. The most important thing right now is to welcome you back. There's a new restaurant on the walking street. Let's go get a bite. It's my treat." "No, I'm going home to change." "Then I'll head straight to the dungeon." "You got it. Whatever you say, we'll do. But I need to go get some money first." "About that. You've been gone for 5 years. A few things have changed." A moment later, Vin Tan shouted in anger. "What is this? You need to pay an entrance fee to get into the dungeon now, 10,000 for a Tier 1 dungeon, and they take an 80% cut. Do you have to be such crooks?" The ticket seller replied sharply. "What do you mean, crooks? It's been this price for 5 years, all right. Don't just spout nonsense. Have you ever stopped to think about why you're broke? Your income hasn't increased in all these years. Have you even been serious about raiding the dungeon?" He immediately started yelling, "You melon-headed! I'll beat you into a pulp." Din Fong pulled him away, advising, "Calm down, Vin Tan. There are too many of them. A wise man doesn't fight a losing battle." Many years ago, dungeons appeared in this world. The monsters in the dungeons could rush out and attack the human world at any time. Therefore, a large number of human adventurers charged into Dungeon D091A5 to fight the monsters. The elite adventurers were almost completely wiped out in a single raid, and I was the only lucky survivor. Vin Tan complained indignantly. Adventurers used to enter the dungeon freely. Now they charge an entrance fee, and they take 80% on top of that. "They're worse than the damn bandits in the dungeon," Din Fong explained. "Ever since the Angels of Light declared they defeated the demons, the guilds big and small no longer see the dungeons as a threat. They've turned them into a tool to make money." "Thanks for spotting me the entrance fee just now. I'll pay you back soon," he replied. His friend laughed. "Why be so formal with me? Weren't you the one who always helped poor team members like us back in the day? So tell me, why the rush to drag me to the dungeon?" Vin Tang replied, "My level was reset to 1. I need you to help me level up. After we kill the boss, I'm going to convert it into a demon." Just then his eyes froze. "They're here!" "Something dangerous is approaching from the distance." A strange creature was approaching them in the darkness. It finally appeared. A level 1 monster scorpion. Din Fong drew his weapon and reassured him. Don't you worry, just stand back and watch me work. Just a level 1. He charged straight at the scorpion to fight. Its claws swung wildly, but the scorpion's attacks only hit Din Fong's shield. His foot slid across the ground as his blade sliced open its belly. A moment later, Din Fong stood up straight, leaving the scorpion behind him. Monster defeated. Received 5 experience points. Vintan thought to himself, even though Din Fong is a tank, his level is much higher than the monsters here. There's no pressure for him to fight these small fries. The system prompted, received 2 experience points. Suddenly he yelled, Din Fong lure more of them over, let's get to it. A moment later, a mechanical sound rang out. Experience plus 5. Scorpion's poison sac obtained. Hard carapace obtained. Finally, when it was all over, only scorpion corpses were left on the ground. Vintan announced, I'm level 2 now. He laughed. Our efficiency is pretty good, don't you think? Vintan was pleased. Very good. The information screen appeared level 2 non-Vintan. Demon transformation upgraded 0 out of 2. He cracked his knuckles and declared, Next I'll show you something really good. The other guy was excited. Is it finally time for the demon transformation? Ever since adventurers first appeared, this is the first time I've ever seen anyone with this type of skill. Vin 10 created a giant flame. Come forth, my demons! Intense bolts of lightning began to strike down on the scorpion parts, roasting them to a crisp. A giant pincer appeared in the flames. Din Fong's jaw dropped in amazement. 2 ferocious beasts were revealed. Level 1 Scorpion Demon Warriors. Vintan looked at them and assessed a humanoid form. It seems to be a characteristic of demons skilled in shapeshifting. Din Fong praised, Whoa, that skill is so awesome. He stressed, Now let's go clear out the trash mobs before the boss. Immediately after, the 2 scorpion warriors began to move quickly down the dark path. 4 mechanical sounds rang out continuously. Experience plus 4. As he walked, Vintan thought, It seems the summoned demons are stronger than mobs of the same level. He wondered aloud, You're saying I can just leave my little minions here in this dungeon while I sleep? To automatically grind mobs, doesn't that mean I can just level up while lying down? I'm truly a one-of-a-kind super genius. He explained, I already thought about that when I first got the system. But right now the dungeon entry ticket and the commission fee are a real drain. I know I have to kill the boss first, and we'll talk later. Din Fong was bewildered. No way. The demons that were chopping up mobs like vegetables got killed. One of them explained, Forgive us, master. When we were clearing the last of the small mobs, we alerted the boss. We were not its match. He reassured them, It's fine. I wasn't expecting level 1 summons to be able to beat the boss anyway. Right after that, a giant monster appeared in front of Vintan. A system warning flashed. Level boss. Laker the earth-burrowing demon. Neutral race. Din Fong stepped forward. Same as always, get behind me. Vintan stopped him. No, this time I'll take the front. My attacks are weak. I'll be the decoy. You just focus on finding the right chance to strike. The other guy hesitated, but Vintan assured him, Trust me, I'll be fine. Then he raised his middle finger and shouted, You bastard! Laker began to open its giant maw to swallow everything. He turned his head back to remind him, Remember, you attack the moment I immobilize it. Din Fong was surprised. Huh? The 2 of them split up, charging at it from 2 different directions. Laker started to chase after Vintan. In that very moment, its enormous mouth prepared to devour him. Vintan's eyes snapped open. Using the power of soul shock, the unsuspecting Laker began to absorb his power, and at the same time Vintan shouted at the top of his lungs, Din Fong, do it! On the other side, he was already running like the wind. Din Fong swung his dagger and began to slash at its body. Suddenly, the system announced Soul Shock has lost its effect. Laker, enraged, slammed a heavy blow onto the ground. Its body gradually disappeared into a giant hole. Vintan remarked, Let's call that little maneuver of yours tiny knife-ass slash. Din Fong looked baffled. What's that supposed to mean? He laughed and replied, You've really opened my eyes. What else was I supposed to do? He retorted helplessly, This boss is covered in armor except for its butt and its stomach. Vintan smiled and announced, I have a plan. It's going to try to ambush me again later because I can immobilize it for a short period. Plus, I don't have a weapon. Since it's wary of my soul shock, there's a high probability it'll appear behind me. You stand facing me and maintain the distance of 1 sword's length. The second it pops out, you stab it. Don't worry about me, I'll dodge. He praised, You really are a seasoned pro. Your combat experience is really extensive, he replied bashfully. I just learned a little something from the seniors in the elite guild, that's all. Vintun's senses sharpened. He glanced behind him and yelled, Here it comes! From beneath the ground, Laker returned for revenge right where they were standing. Dinfong swiftly grabbed his dagger and lunged forward. His blade plunged into its body and slime began to ooze out. In agony, Laker burst up from the ground. The scene descended into chaos as it thrashed its pincers around wildly in pain. The area was in utter turmoil from Laker's movements. Just as its pincer was about to strike Din Fong in the eye, it was suddenly frozen in place. From the other side, Vin Than shouted a reminder. I can only hold it for a moment, finish it now. Understanding. He let out a long battle cry and slashed at its body with his dagger. Slime splattered everywhere. After Din Fong's attack, the system panel appeared Earth-burrowing Demon Laker has been slain. Received 200 experience points. Laker's retaliation armor level 2 block plus 5. Laker's mandible level 2 dagger damage plus 5. Din Fong looked at the items and assessed them. The drops in skills from this boss are way better than the ones in the level 1 dungeon I did before. Did you pick this dungeon for a specific reason? He reached out and collected them. Even though the dungeons are different, dungeons of the same type have similarities. I've run into this type of boss before in a high-level dungeon, so I guessed the low-level version would be pretty similar. The shield or the dagger, pick one. I'll take the shield. He replied, I prefer sword and board. Vin Than decided, All right, the dagger's mine then. Din Fong asked, You were a priest before, right? Are you comfortable using a dagger? Vin Tang replied, It's fine. Back when I had free time, I learned a little from the assassin in my party. I originally wanted to be a close combat adventurer. But the team ended up choosing a healer. Counting the materials from the mobs, this haul is pretty decent. Once we settle up, it should be enough to pay you. Din Fong replied hesitantly, Vin Tang, actually the price of dungeon materials these past few years? A moment later, his hand slammed down on the ground in fury. Vin Than roared, You people bought it all up. At the price you're offering, we can only sell it to you. After an 80% commission plus a 10,000 coin ticket fee per trip, we'd still have to pay extra. Chow Tiet replied calmly. What's wrong? You got a problem with it. We could have just robbed you, but we still gave you the lowest possible buyout price. You should be thanking us. Besides, the experience you gained fighting that monster also has a fee. He was furious. His friend advised him, Calm down, Vin Than. We can't afford to make enemies with a guild like this. Just then, Vin Tan's gaze froze. This guy, he gave him the middle finger, challenging him. Look how tough you are. He glanced over at the other adventurers. Finally, Vin Than turned to leave. Let's go! The man sneered, Hurry up and scram, you two cowards! Suddenly, Chow Tiet called them back. Wait a minute. Your suspicion just now hurt my fragile little feelings. The stretcher in your magic space, you have to leave it behind, as compensation for my emotional distress. Din Fong was bewildered. Huh? This is the only thing I have. He spoke up. Give it to him. Vin Tan's eyes were filled with killing intent. I'll get it back one way or another. The scene changes to a house, under a starlit night sky. A group of people was sitting in a room, each in a different posture. The TV screen displayed information from a recent channel. The number of adventurers disappearing in the dungeon has been on the rise. The specific cause is still under investigation. We urge all adventurers to be cautious. Someone asked the leader, Why does old Chow have to come to this desolate house every week? He replied, Why are you asking me? Go upstairs and ask the boss yourself. At the same time, a large amount of dark energy was silently flowing into his hand, which was resting on the table, bleeding from an accidental knife cut. Chow Thiet's face turned incredibly grim. The thugs noticed a commotion outside. Something's going on outside. Go check it out. What's there to see in this desolate place? It's probably just some stray dogs or cats. Suddenly, the man's eyes widened in horror at the sight before him. Looking at the car, the thug yelled, Oh my God, who did this? At that moment, Vin Than appeared behind the man. A short while later, the thug stumbled back into the house. The team leader asked, What are you doing? I told you to go check it out. Did you sneak off to have a drink instead? Just then, his eyes accidentally spotted something wrong. The system screen displayed Debuff Soul Tremor. At the same time, he appeared above them with a knife. Vin Than swung a powerful blow towards the team leader. His appearance started to cause chaos in the space. The team leader's body staggered, slowly falling. Another thug's hand was forming a magic orb. He shouted, but on the other side he moved with eyes filled with killing intent. Vintan dashed past the man, leaving sharp slashes behind. The thug cried out in pain. "My hand!" Someone else shouted, "Kill him!" His eyes lit up with the skill soul tremor. That power began to control the remaining men, their bodies trembling uncontrollably. But they turned their guns on themselves. Soon after, countless soldiers were wiped out. Vintan walked to the door, thinking. He could feel a cold, sinister aura from within the door. The door opened gently, creating a sense of tension. Suddenly his eyes froze at the sight before him. On the table was a corpse still bleeding. Human skeletons were piled up in another corner. Vintan looked at Chow Thiet in horror. "This guy, so he was hiding here, eating people." He calmly declared, "The next one I'm eating is you. A mere level 2 dares to cause trouble. I guess it's your unlucky day." But then Vintan gave a faint smile and replied, "I told you before." He radiated killing intent. "What you took from me, you must return." Chow Thiet was contemptuous. "You reckless fool. Just wait until I've cooked you to a perfect medium rare. You can regret it from inside my stomach." Chow Thiet was using all his internal energy to create fire. Opposite him, Vintan was charging forward like a storm. Suddenly, he jumped high and did a flip. In that moment, the man's face turned pale. Vintan closed in, unleashing a continuous barrage of attacks, leaving Chow Thiet no time to dodge. He panicked, thinking, if I remember correctly, he registered in the dungeon as a level 1 healer. But how is he so agile? Suddenly, a crimson bolt of lightning nearly struck Chow Thiet's eye. At the same time, his status window popped up, nerve reflex. Vintan closed in, launching a flurry of blows while he hastily dodged. Chow Thiet broke out in a cold sweat, thinking, that was close. Suddenly, his glasses cracked in two. "You rushed in, you know fire magic, and you can fly. You'll make a valuable slave." Chow Thiet's face contorted in fear, his eyes wide as he exclaimed, "You!" A horrific scene unfolded as his mouth spat out a large hand. "Stop being so arrogant!" Vintan's eyes were quickly drawn to it. Then the space descended into chaos with debris falling everywhere. Under the dim moonlight stood the silhouette of the evil one, and then a crystal orb was revealed. Surrounded by sharp thorns, a soul appeared. "Elite Demon Level 2. Bang Ditch spoke with a contemptuous voice. "And here I thought this fatso ran into some powerful opponent. Turns out it's just a Level 2 adventurer. Looks like I accidentally burned up my host when I came out. Now I have to find a new host again. What a pain." And then Vintan quickly used the skill Demon Enslavement while he was distracted. "Cast the spell now." He turned and glanced back at him. "Over here." Vintan's hand created a stream of red magical energy. Bang Dick charged forward. "I don't know what you're trying to do, but a skill with a casting time this long is never going to hit me. Feeling the sweat on your back, aren't you? Are your eyes having trouble keeping up?" Vintan stood rooted to the spot, his eyes closely following his opponent's movements. Just as Bang Ditch's attack came down, he managed to leap up just in time, before Vintan's eyes. "What a horrifying mess!" he exclaimed. "This flame burned straight through the floor in an instant. Just what you'd expect from Level 2 elite magic. The guys on the first floor? They're probably not going to make it." Vintan fell into deep thought. A small space plus fire magic. This place is a disadvantage for me. I have to change the battlefield. And with that, he made the decision to jump out of the combat zone. Bang Dick gave chase. "You think you can just hide in the forest to get some cover? This isn't ordinary fire. This is fire from hell with a special time-burning effect. No matter what you hide behind, it'll eventually turn to ash." But when he chased him into the middle of the forest, he became confused. Bang Ditch wondered to himself, where did he go? Like a little rat. This guy is a bit different from a Level 2 newbie. He's too cunning. Just as he turned away, he seemed to sense something. Bang Dick dodged Vintan's surprise attack, but a black mark appeared on his arm. Enraged, Bang Ditch gritted his teeth. He put his hand behind him, gathered his magic, then lunged forward, launching himself toward him, but he was caught by Vintan. But then he still managed to slip away, moving as fast as the wind. Bang Ditch furiously shouted, "You dare wound me, just wait, I'll flay you alive." He was incredibly pleased with himself. He announced loudly, "I've locked onto you." Brilliant specks of light like stars appeared in the air. One chased while one fled, disturbing the green canopy of the forest. It gradually turned pink, the mark of their battle. Vintan kept moving, but unfortunately the path led to a dead end. He raised his eyes to look up. He desperately tried to find a way out. At that moment, Bangditch arrived. "Well, look at you walking right into a dead end." He raised a giant hand. "Let's see where you run to now." Bangditch swung a terrifying magical attack toward him, and the ground was quickly torn apart by the fierce assault. He looked at the scene with some satisfaction. Nothing left at all. My last host, that fat guy with diabetes, had to take shots every day. He was about to give me low blood pressure. I need to change hosts. I can't find another fat guy. What would be a good change? Just as he was lost in thought, Bangditch was startled. A deep pit had appeared right where he was standing. A bird's beak gradually emerged from the rocky ground. It bit down hard on Bangditch's arm. After that, the Sa Truong continued to gnaw and tear at Bangditch's body. "So you still had a trick up your sleeve, huh?" He still held on to his strong belief, exclaiming, "But that human must have already been turned to ash." "Don't tell me. He was already prepared for this before I even unleashed my ultimate attack. He took advantage of the moment I thought I'd won and let my guard down using the ground to manifest his servant and restrain me. But do you really think you can turn the tables with just this?" Suddenly a chain wrapped around his neck. Vin Tan appeared using his invincible demon skill. He spoke, "Stop all movement." Dizziness quickly overcame Bangditch. His eyes were lifeless. Vin Tan walked over and ordered Leiko let him go. He commanded loudly, "Hand over everything you have." He agreed, "All right." Immediately a shield appeared on the ground, followed by a set of sharp weapons. Finally, sparkling gold bars were stacked up. Bangditch said in a weak voice, "The money. That fat guy was greedy and converted it all to gold. There's also some spare equipment. The rest of the assets are in the guild warehouse." He spoke, calculating roughly. "This pile of gold alone is over 10 million. Just cutting off the income of a low-level Earth city is this terrifying." At the same time, the chain in Vintan's hand broke. A system notification appeared before his eyes. "Warning, target is about to escape enslaved state." In that instant, Bangditch became dangerous again. He gathered all his strength and screamed, "Die!" Bangditch attacked, but luckily Vintan managed to duck and dodge. He quickly ran to put some distance between them, followed by a series of mechanical sounds. Level 2 Demon Incinerator Bangditch has been eliminated. Received 300 experience points. Leveled up to level 3. Following that was the detailed information panel, level 3 Non-Vinthan. His gaze fell on a mask on the ground. Vintan immediately created demonic chains. "Be loyal to me, demon." The system noted Demon Space 2 out of 3. He silently assessed the situation. "The newly summoned slave's level is the same as mine, so I won't have to train him from the beginning." Suddenly Bangditch knelt and bowed. "What are your orders, master?" Vintan clenched his fist. "The low-level Earth city has been cut off by the Rogue Guild. The most urgent thing right now is to find an Earth city that isn't under their control. If you are a demon, you must know where the other monsters are, right? Take me to find their Earth city." Warm sunlight washed over the house. The delivery man greeted him. "A package. I haven't bought anything recently." Din Feng took the delivery and went inside to open it. "What is this? It's so big and heavy. Don't tell me someone is playing a prank and sent me a box of bricks." As soon as he opened it, a shield appeared on the table along with a letter. It read, "Got your shield back for you. Don't donate all the gold to charity. Leave a little for me. If you ever want to come play in the Earth City, look for me. Non-Vintan." He was instantly overjoyed. How did he do this?" "He got my stuff back from the Rogue Guild. This is the first time I've ever held a solid gold bar." Din Feng exclaimed with joy. "Yes, I'm rich." Meanwhile, Bangditch reported, "My lord, the items have been delivered." On his end, Vintan replied, "Very good, but are you sure the address you gave me is correct? Isn't this one of the temples of light? Why would you recommend this place?" He replied, "The power of the divine emissary of light is supported by these temples, big and small. If one temple is shut down, her power will decrease by a fraction." He responded, "That does make sense." "All right, this is the plan. Later after you go in, maintain your earth form. I'll summon you when I need you." The scene opens on a pile of rubble. Chao Dong's voice rings out, "Where's my brother? Have you found him yet?" "He's nowhere to be found. Everything's been turned to ash. This is a special kind of fire magic one with a time-based element. I've never seen anything like it. According to the records, no low-level adventurer should be able to wield this kind of magic. Then find and interrogate every adventurer who registered that night. Most importantly, use any means necessary. You must find out what happened to that 10 million. Whoever died is already dead. The money is what's most important. If the angel finds out we were careless enough to let someone steal such a huge sum of money, they might not favor us anymore. Meanwhile, a fallen warrior of light appeared before Vin Tan. A system notification popped up, experience +8. He grimaced. I'll say this one last time. Seeing as you were all once on the side of the light, I will accept your surrender. Lay down your weapons and you will not be harmed. In the middle of the air, a great gust of wind suddenly erupted. Vin Tan swung his sword. Stubborn fools! He brought his blade down decisively, destroying the fallen warrior. Then another one turned on him. As it turned to counterattack Vin Tan, his eyes were suddenly drawn to a red aura spreading everywhere. Soul shock. The fallen warrior was blasted away by his skill. The others shouted in unison, "Get him! Push him off the bridge!" Suddenly, Vin Tan's eyes widened. Soul tremor. A system prompt appeared. Insufficient malice. Malice 7 out of 100. Then an immense pressure slammed into the fallen one's shield. He leaped down from above, stunning the enemy. A powerful kick from Vin Tan took down a whole group of the fallen. Not giving up, one swung its powerful arm, bringing its blade down. It all happened in a flash. He was facing so many of the fallen alone. One of them screamed, "There's only one of him. Why can't you stop him? We can't fall back any further. If we retreat, the Overseer will kill us." One of the fallen raised its hand high, preparing to strike. Suddenly a sound startled it, and it slammed its sword into the ground as if to shatter it. At the same time, a brilliant green light was revealed. Dust swirled with spiritual energy, creating a spectacular scene. The fallen warrior stood there staring at the results of its attack. At that moment, Vin Tan's voice rang out. "To deal with me, you casually slaughtered your own subordinates. You're more demonic than the enemy." At this point, the fallen warrior was about to attack again. Vin Tan spoke up. "Lucky for me, Laker took that hit." He then added, as if translating for his summon, "Laker says, you're trash." The fallen warrior spoke. "You ant-like adventurers and lowly demons, I will make you regret ever stepping foot in this holy land." Then he raised his blade again, preparing to intimidate them. The weapon in his hand spun rapidly, radiating immense power. Just then, the scene shifts to Deep Deep. A face came into view. He was shocked as something rolled toward him. Deep Deep's body trembled as he said, "Don't kill me," Natoha shouted. "I'm looking for this person." 3 years ago, he was a member of your guild. After he left, his new address wasn't updated. I heard you're still in contact with him. He took out a portrait of Din Fong and asked Deep Deep. Deep Deep realized, isn't that to Din Fong? Hearing that, Natoha's face turned vicious. "Where is he?" The man looked at the ground, thinking. The guild master's butcher was killed by this guy in 1 month. If I try to be clever for even a second, I'll probably be killed, right? Deep Deep looked up and answered, "He's at the intersection number 305 where 20th Street and 20th Avenue meet. Can I go now?" The man asked, "Do I look like a cruel person? Get lost." After that, Deep Deep quickly turned and ran with all his might. But then Natoha flashed a wicked smile and shouted, "Just kidding!" He used a magic spell, Shadow Blade, slashing out. Deep Deep's feet moved quickly, leaping off the ground. He ran straight ahead without a moment's hesitation. But then a blade came down, cutting Deep Deep in two. Natoha calmly watched the scene and uttered, "Next." The scene then shifts to Din Fong's house. Inside, he heard a noise at the door. Din Fong ran to the door and opened it cheerfully. "Another package." Natoha gave a demonic smile and asked, "You're to Din Fong, aren't you?" On a magnificent throne, Iakas sat majestically. Suddenly, a figure walked in through the gate. Level 4, Non-Ving Ten. He walked in with a dagger in his hand. Iakas was full of contempt. "How did a bug like this get in? What are the guards doing? Are they all asleep?" Vintun clapped his hands together. "The guards!" Then he casually pulled something from his spatial ring and threw it towards Iakas. "You mean this guy?" A steel helmet was sent tumbling across the floor. "He is indeed asleep, but he won't be waking up again." The helmet still bore the marks of their battle. He thought to himself, to be able to kill a level 3 elite without getting a scratch. Then he spoke aloud. "It seems you're a bit tougher than the usual bugs, but you have no idea who you're facing right now. I am the commander of the fallen knights of the light, the adjudicator Agus. Not to be outdone, he unleashed his own attack. Soul Shock. A cloud of red smoke rushed towards where Ayaka stood. Target's level is too high. Soul Shock resisted. This left Vintan completely stunned and somewhat wary. Without another word, Ayakas leaped high into the air to attack. With his sharp reflexes, Vintan dodged the blow. Ayakas didn't stop continuing to swing his sword. Vintan blocked the blade with his small dagger, but the force of the impact was so great that he was sent flying. He thought to himself, "This boss's strength and speed are far greater than those grunts from before." Vintan flipped in midair and landed back in his spot. A large amount of energy was now gathering in his hand, forming an orb that shot forward in a direct attack. Ayakis raised his sword to his face, and it began to glow. Holy shield! The two streams of energy collided, It caused a massive tremor before exploding in midair, sending earth and stone flying everywhere. As the dust settled, a figure stood firm. He was thinking about his shield. My holy power should have the strongest defense at this level, so why was it shattered by a low-level fire skill? While Ayakas was lost in thought, he appeared from behind, like a ghost. He decisively stabbed him in the right shoulder. He was stunned. Using the smokescreen for a sneak attack, you have no honor at all, Vintan sneered. Hearing that come out of your mouth is hilarious. You people serve the goddess of light, yet you betray humanity. Where is your honor? Ayakas collapsed to his knees. He seemed to have lost all ability to fight, but with his remaining strength, his hand still tried to swing his sword for one final slash, but he had already dodged it by leaning back. I definitely hit his weak spot. How can he still fight back? A golden light emanated from his body. He watched with wide eyes. A healing spell. A healing spell that's even more effective than a priest's. That healing spell. My own can't save someone on the verge of death. When the light vanished, Ayakas was probably healed. He charged forward again, sending Vintan flying hundreds of meters away. He drew his sword once more. Perish, you lowly insect! A stream of power enveloped the blade. The sacred flash aimed straight for him. The distance was now only a few millimeters. That terrifying attack seemed to have ended the battle. As the dust cleared, everything fell silent, and Ayakas thought he had won. What's with the people from the Iron Centipede Guild? Can't even watch the door properly, letting trash like this in? Suddenly a voice rang out. I remember who you are. He was utterly horrified. How is he still alive? He continued his story. Years ago, when I was just a rookie, a friend of mine was robbed of a pile of rare mana crystals by members of the Iron Centipede Guild. They beat him half to death. That friend sought out the adventurer's court thinking he could get justice. But instead, my teammate was accused of stealing someone else's resources. His adventurer status was revoked, while that villain, just because he was an elite from a major guild, received no punishment at all. At that time, the one who made this twisted decision, wasn't it you back when you were working at the court? He remained arrogant. We have the goddess watching over us from above and countless believers below. What can you adventurers possibly do to us? You only dodged my last attack because I underestimated you. My next sword strike will lock onto you. You won't be able to dodge it. The powerful sword pierced the ground below. Another strike. Holy judgment. Once I declare you guilty, you're dead for sure. Vintan swiftly jumped back to evade. The sword rushed forward as if nothing could stop it. He frowned. I can definitely feel a powerful magic locking onto me. It's going to be very difficult to dodge. Looks like I'll have to use that move after all. Vintan held his two hands out in front and channeled his power. Temporal Burn Aegis. Mana cost 100. It can absorb the majority of damage by burning the enemy's skill timeline, Ayakas observed. So that's how he survived my sacred flash before. But you won't be so lucky this time. The sword carrying terrifying power was still rushing forward, but he blocked it with the Temporal Burn Aegis. Unfortunately, the sword tip didn't stop and continued to pierce through. He said, to be able to deploy a shield of this level at only level 3, you're certainly more impressive than the average rookie. But unfortunately for you, you ran into me. Vintan paid him no mind and focused on the task at hand. Large cracks began to appear on the sword, and right after it shattered into hundreds of pieces. Ayakas was surprised. Did I release too much magic? Its power is stronger than usual today. The force caused the surrounding dust to swirl. When it all settled, he was still standing there safe. He stared with wide, astonished eyes. How is he still alive? What is happening? I didn't hold back with that last attack. Vintan had his own plan. using the enemy's time burn skill as a shield. As expected, it's just as effective. As long as the opponent's level doesn't completely overpower me, the special effect of time burn can also be used as an offensive skill against them. Magic stat 105 out of 363. Now it's my turn to attack. Lord's Privilege, Divine Outburst, Soul Annihilation. I'll pour all my remaining magic into this one. The attack stormed forward. Iax held his sword in front of him to defend, but it seemed impossible against such immense destructive force. What is this terrifying impact? I can't hold on much longer. The attack radiated a black and red hue across the sky. It seemed to wipe out everything in its path. In the end, only rubble remained. He stood alone amidst the ashes and debris. To be honest, I'm a little surprised to think you could fight me to this extent. You've got more substance than the other adventurers I've trampled before. Anicaps tried to raise his sword again, but unfortunately, this little wound... The golden light shone once more. I can heal in an instant. Suddenly, something made him gasp in shock. His arm was blocked by something. It couldn't grow back. It wouldn't heal. Right after that, streams of black and red light radiated from his body. Does this attack have some kind of special effect? Just a few seconds later, Iax collapsed to his knees again. Vintan spoke up. This is the second time you've kneeled. For a so-called Knight of Light, your knees sure are weak. He trembled, begging, "Spare me. I'll do anything you say." Are you answering based on the part of the story I haven't finished telling? Iax could only stammer in response. Vintan then began his story. His friend, an adventurer, had lost his job and was forced to find other work to survive. But because of the economic recession, and because companies were afraid of offending the Zhou family, no one was willing to hire my comrade. He had to endure the gossip. Isn't he just that unlucky bastard who pissed off the Zhou family? Now he couldn't even find a job. And who could he blame for that? He could only blame himself for not knowing his place. If you just take the loss and stay quiet, the matter is considered over, but he wanted to take it to court. Everyone in the Zhou family is ruthless. You don't want to mess with them. There's definitely no good end to it. All that pent-up frustration. If I were him, I'd rather just die. A friend and I went to check on him. We brought some money hoping to help him through this rough patch. We knocked for a long time, but there was no response, so we called the landlord to open the door, and that's when we found out. When we broke down this door, we witnessed a horrifying scene. We were too late. So, do you really think I'm going to let you go? Iax pleaded desperately. I'll go with you. I'll tell you everything I know. Vintan's voice became ice cold. Fine. Iax rejoiced internally. Excellent, he's let his guard down. I saved a little bit of magic power earlier. Now's my chance. But in the blink of an eye, he had taken Iax's head. You want to follow me? You can do that after you're dead. Received 400 experience points, reached level 5. Level 5, Non-Vintan thought. Speaking of slaves, I just remembered. I'd already sent Pang Di to another city to grind for experience. Why haven't I received any other EXP? Otherwise, I could have reached level 5 before even meeting the boss. The final battle could have been a bit easier. Pang Di, are you slacking off? Where is the experience I told you to grind for? Pang Di seemed to hesitate. Well, my lord, I've run into a situation over here that's a bit difficult to resolve. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a battle was still raging. It looked like his abdomen had been seriously injured. Dinfang clutched the wound on his side, his breathing ragged. Pang Di stood in front of him protectively. Thap Ho was furious. Who are you? Why are you getting in my way? He demanded. Pang Di replied, even if you killed every single person in this city. I wouldn't care, but the person behind me belongs to our lord. You can't touch him. Sitting behind him, he realized. My lord, he must be one of Vintan's men. It seems that during this time, Vintang has gotten himself a new underling. Dinfang spoke up to warn him, be careful. This guy is very strong. Flashback to about 1 hour earlier. Thap Ho had violently thrown him off the balcony. Unable to react in time, Dinfang crashed through the glass and fell below. He blacked out. Just one hit was enough to knock out a tank-class adventurer like me. When I came to, I was in this abandoned parking garage on the outskirts of the city. Back to the present. Suddenly, Thap Ho vanished in an instant. Then, quick as a flash, he slammed a punch into Pang Di's stomach. Pang Di was shocked. This guy, he's even faster than the Lord. Pang Di was sent flying backward. Without wasting a single second, he continued his assault. Thap Ho, moving like a phantom, appeared and disappeared, unleashing wind magic skills. Wind Step. He appeared from behind from the walls. then from the left, then the right, attacking from every direction. But every single attack was perfectly dodged by him. Pang Di was shocked. Not a single hit landed. Could it be that he can see my invisibility? Pang Di silently analyzed the situation. Even though I can't see anything, I always sense a small fluctuation of magic power from this direction. Plus, that guy suddenly cast a spell over here. It must mean something. I'd better be careful. After all I've suffered at the hands of his lord before. I only fell for his lord's tunnel warfare tactic once. He suddenly threw a punch. Getting lucky and guessing my location before was just a coincidence. Once again, the man simply turned and dodged it. Without stopping, Thap Ho followed up with a kick. This time it connected squarely with Pang Di's face, sending him flying far, far back into a pre-prepared cushion of wind. The incredible force launched Pang Di high into the air. The enemy is too fast. I don't have time to cast a counterspell. The Lord warned me not to use my demon form outside the city. He didn't hesitate, seizing the opportunity to attack again. A sword formed from wind shot forward. He didn't have a moment to breathe as he took continuous damage. The blow was so powerful it split the wall in two. Pang Di seemed to have lost all his strength, lying sprawled on the ground. He cursed himself. Damn it, I don't care about my own life. But I couldn't even protect the Lord's friend. Thap Ho looked down from above. I don't know how you dodged my attack, but my hidden blade isn't stationary, you know. Suddenly, a system notification appeared. Your lord has shared the skill Master Slave Summon with you. He didn't notice anything different and laughed maliciously. Now die. The attack was reflected, reverse summoning the demon lord. He was gradually losing consciousness. Lord Demon, I'm sorry I've failed to live up to your expectations. A flash of light streaked by in an instant. In the blink of an eye, Pang Di vanished from right under his feet. It turned out Vin Than had moved him to where Ding Feng was sitting. That speed made Thap Ho shudder. Are you kidding me? I'm known for my speed, but even my eyes couldn't keep up. He said, this isn't good. You're a tank. How did you get beaten up like this? He struggled to reply, I'm still okay. Thanks to your subordinate, at least I'm alive. He then interjected about this person. Isn't he the second target, Truong Ba? You came looking for this yourself. Just who I was looking for. Vin Tan raised a single finger. It's not your turn to speak yet. Just that alone made Thap Ho a little afraid of this guy. He instructed Pang Di, you take Ding Feng and get some distance. I'll heal you two in a bit. He obediently listened. Yes, Lord Demon. Immediately after, the two of them disappeared in a flash. Reacting to this, he quickly moved forward, intending to attack him. You're really looking down on me, aren't you? He raised his hand to counterattack. Didn't I already tell you? Before Thap Ho could do anything, he took a full punch to the face, flying far back and spinning several times in the air. It's not your turn to speak. He then crashed down hard, sending dirt and rocks flying. He struggled onto one knee, looking up, his teeth knocked out and blood pouring from his mouth. Who the hell is this guy? Even among the high-ranking adventurers at the entrance registry. I know all the formidable people in this area, but I've never seen this guy before. Thap Ho was calculating something. It seems I have to get serious now. Quick as a flash, Vin Tan teleported in front of him, shocking him yet again. So fast. But by doing that, you've walked right into my trap. Two currents of wind stealthily moved in to attack his legs, followed immediately by a barrage of wind arrows piercing his body. Thap Ho looked triumphant. I'll turn you into a pinned specimen. A fight between adventurers isn't just about comparing strength and speed. How can a no-name newbie like you possibly outplay a veteran like me, but unexpectedly? Just then, the glass-like restraints shattered to pieces. Vin Tan's body emitted a golden light. He was shocked as a shield around the man's body dispelled his entire attack. And this golden shield, it's covering his entire body. Could he be a knight of light? He began to radiate an overwhelming killing intent. Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed. A level 4 assassin-class adventurer, and this is it. Her attacks packed more of a punch than yours. Thap Ho grew fearful, his words stuttering. You! Vin Tan turned to walk away. You're too weak. You're not even worth killing. Go tell your masters. Don't target my people in the future. Otherwise, I'll annihilate your entire guild. Those words were like a slap to his face. You! His body trembled with rage. Thap Ho refused to yield and attacked. Stop looking down on me. He slammed his hands together. Dark blade, total annihilation. A series of sharp wind blades slashed forward, destroying everything around them. but this didn't faze him in the slightest. You're asking to die. He was surrounded by a solid golden shield. Everything was slashed into hundreds of tiny pieces. Dirt and rocks flew everywhere, obscuring the view. Then the barrage of attacks ended. The dust settled, revealing Vin Tan standing there as if nothing had happened. Your attack has improved a fair bit, but you still can't break my defense. Thap Ho held a red dagger in his hand. If even that can't break his defense. He glanced back, watching his opponent's move. He thrust the dagger forward. Then how about you try this? Vin Tan held out his hand, and the attack was nullified when the dagger was just millimeters from his stomach. Thap Ho looked smug. This demon-breaking blade. It took almost all of my savings to get. It specializes in killing shield-loving mages like you. Vin Tan's eyes flashed red. Is that so? Cracks began to spread from the tip of the blade, slowly covering the entire sword. Then it shattered completely, much to his astonishment. Impossible. He kneed Thap Ho straight in the face, sending him flying and crashing into the ground. Thap Ho was horrified. I can't believe he had a second shield, but how could a second shield shatter? My demon-breaking sword. Just as Vin Tan was about to deliver the finishing blow, he pleaded, Wait! You can't kill me if you do. The Chowkeet Guild that backs me won't let you get away with it. He said they won't let me off. Is that why they sent you? And then what? Thap Ho was speechless, able only to stare wide-eyed as an immense power radiated from around him. He stomped his foot down, ending the battle. The kick sent him flying straight down the mountain. The impact was so powerful it sent dust and debris flying everywhere, and its destructive force created a crater. Not far away, Ding Feng and the others were watching. Pang Di said, After just one exchange, our Lord Demon had already completely grasped my skills. He even combined them with his own traits, elevating them to a whole new level. He replied, Huh, is that right? I just thought it was a simple matter of a high-level character overpowering a low-level one. When attack and defense stats are the same, the one with the higher level will naturally deal more damage, and the damage they take will be less. He smiled. I don't know how his lordship does it either. But being able to follow a lord with such potential, it's really exciting. Our demon race, we finally have hope for a revival. Hostile adventurer Thap Ho has been eliminated. Received 250 experience points. Received remains of the assassin, Thap Ho. He looked at the system panel. So, you get experience from killing people too. The experience from an adventurer is more than from a regular monster of the same level, and almost as much as an elite monster. Before, I only ever focused on fighting monsters. I never laid a hand on people, let alone killing them. Besides, on the surface, the Lin Min Guild prohibits this kind of behavior. Let's count it like that. It seems getting experience from adventurers is way easier than running dungeons. Let's switch locations to some level 3 underground city. A blade flashed through the air. The masked robber, trembling in fear, raised his hands, but before he could react, he was sliced in two. Zhou Yin was the one who struck. Experience points plus 50. He looked at the blood on his sword. Oops, I split him in two directly. The process was so fast it felt boring. Suddenly a voice spoke up. So you really are trying to level up, big brother? Zhou Yin instinctively turned around. Why did you come down to the underground city? I thought you weren't interested in leveling up. Zhou Tong replied, I'm not interested in leveling up, but I'm very curious. Why do you always cover their heads every time you kill someone? Are you afraid you'll see them in your nightmares? He gave a cunning smile. How could I possibly have a problem like that? It's simply because after covering their heads, I can focus on their eyes and watch the light of life slowly fade from them. It gets me incredibly excited. So what do you want from me? I'm sure you didn't come down here just for some brotherly bonding. He feigned disgust. Don't be so heartless. I came to give you some experience points. Don't you like killing adventurers to level up? These 5 people. The experience from these guys should be much more than those level 3 mobs. Zhou Tong held out his phone. Interested. Early the next morning, in an apartment building, Yong Qing and Ding Feng were sitting on the sofa. Your wounds just healed. Do you really need to risk your life again so soon? He replied, This is good for recovering my strength. On the other hand, you've been at home these past few days. Why aren't you clamoring to go to the underground city to level up like you were at the beginning? Yong Qing was surprised. Who says I'm not leveling up? My slaves are killing monsters in the underground city right now. Meanwhile, Bang Di was finding experience points skyrocketing in another place. Level 6 Underground City Demon's Nest. Bang Di cheered enthusiastically. Come on, you little ones. No slacking allowed. Level 5 Incinerator Demon Slave Bang Dai. Level 5 Earth Digger Demon La Oat. Level 5 Assassin Demon Ne Thap Ho. Level 5 Adjudicator Demon Iacus. Thap Ho in his demon possession form. You're fat. We all serve the same master. What gives you the right to just sit there and boss us around? Yakas in his demon possession form added, while we're here working, you're enjoying yourself in your original form, you lowly thing. I ought to slice you in two. He looked proud, except for that rotten worm. I was the first one to follow our great lord. That rotten worm doesn't look very smart. If you guys don't listen to my command, who will you listen to? A cricket passed by their spot. Bang Dai got excited. Instead of bickering here, why don't we see which demon can offer the most experience points to our master? In front of us are countless level 5 imps. He thrust his two hands forward and launched an attack. The imps were annihilated in droves. Experience points plus 15. The dust settled. On the ground lay many imp corpses. Their skeletons turned to ash and blew away in the wind. Bang D was lost in thought, not paying attention to his surroundings. The demon possession form our master gave me is so strong. The attack power has gone up a whole level. He was suddenly ambushed by an imp from behind, but before it could even touch him, it was sliced into 100 pieces. It was Thap Ho who saved him. Are you so focused on kill-stealing that you've lost your mind? Using a large area AoE that drains so much mana, are you trying not to leave any for us, too? But you're killing monsters, too. You're not the only one who knows how to use an AoE. An imp that had just rushed forward was split in two, followed by countless other demons sharing the same fate. Experience points plus 15. He continued to fight. Hidden Blade Sand Trap. He took out countless imps. Experience points plus 15. Thap Ho boasted, how about that? My AoE is just as good as yours, isn't it? Yakas jumped over the two of them from above, landing gracefully. He said, thanks, old pal, for gathering the monsters for me. He pointed a finger at him. Who the hell kill steals like you do? Nice steal. Iacus created a sword surrounded by giant flames. With one strike, he wiped them all out. Holy Light Arrow experience points plus 15. At this moment, Yong Qing was taking a stroll. Experience points plus 15. The experience points are suddenly shooting up. Looks like the slaves are starting to work hard in the demon's nest again today. Up ahead, someone waved and called out, Yong Qing over here. The call caught his attention. It was the LV5 dwarf warrior Phaedra. Yong Qing leaned in and whispered, why is there a dwarf here? I thought they loved treasure more than their own lives. Wouldn't they lure a boss to wipe out the whole party over a small piece of ore? He slammed his great hammer onto the ground. Impossible. The world misunderstands us. They only know that being greedy is a dwarven trait, but they don't know we have another one. Honor, we would absolutely never harm our comrades for money. Ding Feng confirmed, don't worry. They were all introduced by acquaintances from the guild. They're trustworthy. He smiled. All right, fine. But there are only 3 of us. Where are the other 2? If we don't have enough people, the 5-person limit underground city will deny us entry. He pointed to the sky. Look up. Alan with her giant body blushed and looked down. Feda looked up in awe. You're really tall. Out of shyness, she immediately hid behind a rock. He scratched his head. Forgot to mention, don't mind her size. She's actually a bit of an introvert. Yong Qing observed and said, we're still missing one person. Just then a voice said, so sorry the car was late. A man walked up to their group. It was Chao Ngan, a level 4 hunter-adventurer. My apologies. I've never really been in the public eye, so I even disguised my level. These newbies must think I'm a total scrub. He walked over and patted him on the shoulder. This is the former guildmaster I told you about. He has a really tragic backstory. I asked him to come along. Thanks. And hey, don't worry about his low level. His crowd control support skills are very effective in dungeons. He sized the man up. He looks like a level 4, all right. But something just feels off. Chao Ngan remained silent, only offering a mysterious smile. Everyone entered the dungeon together. Level 6 dungeon, the Enchanted Forest. Start. About 2 hours earlier at the apartment building. What are you saying, Din Fong? Let's form a 5-man team and hit a different dungeon. He asked, is it hard to find a party now? He answered right away, not at all, leave it to me, but you're really overdoing it. With so many underlings like this, You have them AFK farm monsters for you, and you're still personally leading a team to raid a dungeon. Wouldn't it be better to wait for them to finish and then take them out to have some fun? Vintan looked at his phone. If we're even a step late for this new dungeon, other guilds might snatch it up. Besides, this dungeon's boss is the type that kind of counters me. Din Fong walked to the door. All right, I'll go form the party first. Send the dungeon coordinates to my phone. Just as he pushed down the doorknob, the door opened to a forest. Everyone stepped into that forest together. Chang'en shivered slightly. Hey, you pros, don't you think this dungeon is a bit creepy? Din Fong seemed exasperated. What dungeon isn't creepy? After a few raids, you'll get used to it. A lollipop was offered to him. Alin said shyly, This is a magic lollipop. I eat one when I get nervous. He took it. You call this a lollipop? You could probably kill someone by throwing this thing. Suddenly, Vintan realized something. He stopped, turned around, and started asking everyone, Where's Feta? At that moment, he was being drawn in by something else and had gotten separated from the group. In front of him were clusters of beautiful giant sparkling crystals. So much blue crystal mana ore. I'm going to be rich. Feta started gathering the mana ore with his axe. The deeper I go, the more there is, and there's so much more behind this. It's all along the path. Deep in the cave, I might even find some rare ore. After a while, he reached the edge of a chasm. Below was a supergiant cluster of yellow mana ore. This made Feta ecstatic. Rare ore! He jumped down without hesitation. It's all mine, just as his axe touched them. The mana ore vanished without a trace. It seems this was a trap set in advance. By the time Feta realized it, it was too late. Meanwhile, the group started searching. We've been at this for a while. Are you sure the dwarf went in here? This is the most likely spot. Ore caves in this type of dungeon are the most attractive to dwarfs. As soon as they entered the cave, it began to shake violently. Din Fong panicked. What's that tremor? He pointed ahead. Isn't that the dwarf? He was running and crying, yelling at the top of his lungs, Run! Behind him, rock people were in hot pursuit. He drew his sword. Let me see what you've got. You think a few rock people can scare me? But it didn't stop there. A colossal figure appeared from behind them. A giant woman made of stone emerged. Level 7 rare boss, grudge phantom statue. That made Din Fong's jaw drop. Damn. Chao Fong thought to himself, I was just looking for a chance to get rid of these guys. I can't believe this dwarf lured out something even nastier. It's a shame I won't get the kill experience, but it's better than losing my life. A powerful blue light radiated from within the statue. Then it exploded, creating a terrifying earthquake. Everyone was already running outside with the grudge phantom statue in pursuit. Each of her steps felt like it was creating an earthquake. The grudge phantom statue suddenly stopped and opened its mouth wide. From its mouth, it spewed a strange green liquid. It spread out over an incredibly vast area. While running, Vintan suddenly came to a halt. Din Fong was surprised. What are you doing? He observed the attack. An area of effect attack this large is impossible to dodge. Then he created a shield. Shield of light. Everyone get behind me. Just as the shield was formed, the torrent of liquid came crashing down. It was like rain covering everything below. Unexpectedly, the liquid passed right through the shield. It was like acid corroding everything it touched. As the liquid touched Vintan's hand. Over here, he was struggling to dodge the stream of acid. He thought, a level 5 shield of light can't block the corrosive skill of a level 7 boss. And my phantasmal shield only works on myself right now. Continuing like this is not an option. Din Fong and the others will get hit sooner or later. He decided to summon his demon slaves. Dual summon, forward summon. Dual, red and black energy radiated from the ground. This action caught everyone's attention. Demons began to appear. Level 5 La Yi, the demon slave. Feta couldn't believe his eyes. Am I seeing things? How can an adventurer summon demons, that kind of heaven-defying magic? Never mind them, even the most experienced top-tier level 5 adventurers wouldn't have known. Vintan ordered Lauk to immediately dig a tunnel and lead everyone outside. It received the order and started digging a deep tunnel underground. He pointed, Quick escape through this tunnel. He looked a little worried. Then what about you? Vintan smiled. I'll be fine, go hurry up. Alin said, We'll go first. Vintan, are you coming later? Din Fong replied, he can't make it. The moment he lowers his shield, the boss's fluid will flood this tunnel. He interjected. So we're just going to abandon our captain and run? That doesn't feel right, does it? It's fine, he reassured them. It's fine. He said he's about to level up. Phaedra was surprised. Huh, how is that possible right now? Meanwhile, Chang'an was watching everything from afar. Good thing I got out of there fast. Otherwise, I'd have ended up a puddle of blood just like those idiots. She kept looking down at his shield. The Wraith Charmer suddenly frowned for some reason. Vintun shattered the shield, flinging the liquid away at the same time. He was stunned. What, that kid? He broke a level 7 boss's skill. A level 5, fighting, a level 7 already has a clear skill level disadvantage, let alone the fact that this is a rare boss. Chang'an couldn't believe what he was seeing. How did he do that? Level 6 upgrade complete. Nyanving Tang. Phantoy shield has been upgraded to Phantoy magic armor. Chang'an observed the situation. How did this kid level up? He didn't even kill any monsters. He just leveled up like that. What's going on? About 5 minutes earlier, over where Bang Ditch's group was, the three of them stood on high ground. The small monsters in the first half of this dungeon have basically all been killed by us here. Our lord should be able to level up by now, right? Ikas said just then. That rotten worm seems to have been summoned away. He was surprised. He's gone. Looks like the master's fight isn't easy. I really want to join in. I should try to sense the master so he can summon me over. Meanwhile, Vintun was still fighting with all his might. The Wraith Charmer's giant foot stomped down, but he quickly dodged to the side. Usually monsters this big, Shabbat, are a bit slow. Attacking their lower body is most effective. With a single slash, Vintun severed her foot, causing the Wraith Charmer to lose its balance. It crashed heavily to the ground below. He spun the sword in his hand, then poured all his energy into it, ran forward, and took a high leap. Next, he stabbed down with all his might, but she caught the blade easily with one hand. The Wraith Charmer pushed itself up and looked at its own hand when suddenly, a blinding yellow light erupted from that very hand and it exploded. Vintun, sword in hand, charged in again to attack, plunging the tip of his blade straight into the center of her forehead. Unity Light's holy flash. The ultimate attack. A massive explosion occurred, ending the battle. As the smoke and dust cleared, everything fell silent. Phaedra's jaw dropped. A level 6 adventurer soloed a level 7 rare boss, and actually won. Din Fong laughed breathlessly. For Vintun, this is just a basic move. He stood alone amidst the remaining ashes. Something's not right. Even though I used up almost all my magic, this was a rare boss 1 level higher than me. The intensity of this fight doesn't feel right. Suddenly, a blue liquid oozed out from a stone. It began to spread to other stones, then gathered in one place, forming a single mass. Phantoy magic armor activated. Warning, magic points are too low. A moment later, it exploded, creating a shockwave that threw everything around, sending rocks flying everywhere. He sensed the danger and took a few steps back. Magic points 41 out of 637. Magic points are too low. The Phantoy magic armor won't last long. Ahead of him, a thick cloud of dust obscured his vision. From a distance, he saw everything. Why is there so much poison smoke? He said, It's probably the poisonous fluid evaporating after being heated by the fire on the surface of Vintun's shield. But in reality, he was also growing worried and uneasy. Vintun thought, this boss has a phase 2, and the combat environment is even more hostile. This thick smoke is both corrosive and obscures vision, but why hasn't it summoned all its servants to help up? The green smoke began to spread everywhere. The experience points from the servants are increasing quickly. In a little while, I'll be able to reach level 7. I have to try and hold out a little longer. Where on earth is this thing hiding? From within the smoke, a figure slowly approached. He keenly sensed its presence. There you are. He spun around and launched a power orb. The orb shot forward powerfully, then immediately exploded in midair. From behind, a mysterious hand reached out, a feint. It aimed directly for Vintun's face. It seems this boss understands my magic armor. A direct close-quarters attack, trying to deplete my magic armor faster. But you're seriously underestimating me. The sword automatically returned to its master's hand at the critical moment. The Wraith Charmer's attention was diverted. Seizing the opportunity, he swung his sword, attacking swiftly and decisively, chopping her down. Phaedra pointed forward and said, "The smoke is clearing." Din Fong waved and called out, "Vintun?" He asked, "Why are you the only one here? Where's everyone else?" "Experience points plus 400. He replied, "That greedy dwarf said he wanted to go pick up the magic ore fragments we missed earlier." And Alan was worried, so she went with him. in front of the tunnel entrance from before he was happily picking up the leftover ore shards. Not a single piece of magic ore can escape my grasp. As he was engrossed in picking them up, a foot stepped down on them. Phaedra was surprised. "Alin, why are you stepping on my magic ore?" She shouted, "What are you picking up over there?" He seemed surprised by her words. When he finally looked behind him, his face filled with horror. On the ground were countless skeletons scattered everywhere. Feda covered his mouth in disbelief. "Oh my God! My dwarf king! So all this time the things he was picking up were skeletons!" As soon as he saw it, Feda collapsed to the ground. "It seems that when I entered this underground city, I fell under some kind of bewitching spell. But why weren't you affected?" Alin replied, "I don't know either." He thought to himself, could it be because the poison bones usually sink to the lower level? Since she's so tall, maybe she managed to escape it, acting like I'm not even here. And since I'm the shortest, I must have been the most deeply poisoned. Din Fong said, "I'm going to go get those guys out of this underground city now." He watched, wondering why there was no reaction. Din Fong reached out to shake Vin Tan, but before he could touch him, something slashed past. Before he could even react, his hand was severed. Din Fong's eyes widened in utter shock and confusion. Vin Tan lay collapsed on the ground. What is happening? Vin Tan was standing right there just a moment ago. Why did he suddenly collapse? Who cut off my hand? Wasn't the boss already dead? Before he could react, he was struck again. It was the work of the resentful spirit enchantress, and so both of them collapsed, leaving only her. This adventurer is special. She has the aura of a demon. I must study your body. Let's see what secrets you're hiding inside. But as the resentful spirit enchantress prepared to deliver the finishing blow, an axe flew through the air to stop her. Her senses were keen, and she reacted instantly. With just one hand, she not only blocked the blow, but sent it flying back. The axe returned to his hand. Feda looked at the two young men lying unconscious. It seems they were also poisoned, fighting imaginary enemies in a hallucination. Before they could even snap out of it, their real bodies were already defeated. Although he was afraid, he still fought bravely. Still, I was a step too late. The resentful spirit enchantress assessed him silently. Why is this dwarf here? Wasn't he still picking up magic ore in his hallucination? And where did that giant woman go? Suddenly an arrow whistled towards her from behind. She instantly leaned away, dodging it. The arrow's terrifying power shattered a stone pillar behind her. She surmised, this must be that female hunter. She's quite big, but pretty good at hiding. While the resentful spirit enchantress was distracted, Feda rushed in for a sneak attack. But once again she managed to block it. You're 2 levels below me, and you think an attack like that could actually hurt a boss like me. But if you're going to engage me in close combat, that just makes my job much easier. Lava eruption. He had no time to react and could only watch as the stream of lava engulfed him. And then, once again, an arrow shot forward. The resentful spirit enchantress faced it head-on. Still trying for a sneak attack? You think I can't dodge it this time? Suddenly he grabbed her leg. The resentful spirit enchantress instinctively looked down. This dwarf. He's still alive. Wasn't my attack enough? Feda used the last of his strength to hold her in place. You're not going anywhere. Just then the arrow was upon her. Damn it! I can't dodge this! The terrifying impact shattered her head. He grinned triumphantly. You didn't know we dwarves have a skill, and called rock form. Even when facing a level 2 poison skill effect, it at least gives me the chance to hold you down. Rock form consumes no mana, increasing your resistance to poison and corrosion. It reduces damage taken and lasts for 5 seconds. It seemed as if it was all over. But unexpectedly, she caught the arrow with both hands, melting it instantly. It consumes a large amount of magic points to melt a target on contact. Alan was horrified. No way! It didn't do any damage at all. He was even more horrified. She was completely unharmed. The resentful spirit enchantress laughed. Did you really think 2 low-level adventurers like you could actually hurt me? She summoned a torrent of lava, engulfing him completely. From afar, Alan could only watch helplessly. Feda? The resentful spirit enchantress had already pinpointed her location. There you are. She pointed her finger. Lava ball poison spray. The attacks flew straight towards Aline's position. Unable to react in time, she was hit and thrown backwards. The resentful spirit enchantress gloated, Now I can finally study this adventurer with the demonic aura. Wait, where did that guy in red go? Is he not dead yet? That other specials adventurer has also vanished. She then turned her gaze toward the nearby forest. Dinfong struggles to walk, trying to carry Vintan to safety. Hang in there. We can't die here. Nyamnya cackles wickedly as she attacks. Don't even think about running. Instantly, she fires a powerful beam of poison from her hand at Dinfong. The poison ray strikes him directly. His eyes widen in fear, but he's powerless to do anything. An explosion erupts from where he stands, blasting outwards. She laughs in satisfaction. Whoops, I didn't control my power very well. Looks like I took out that entire special adventurer party. Too bad. Just then, Vintan's voice rings out. I'm not quite sure I understand your skills. Level 7 adventurer Non-Ving-Tan. He had used a full-body shield to block her attack. Namnya is utterly stunned. How did he level up? Where did he get the experience points from? At the dungeon boss has been defeated. Bang Deech stands with his hands on his hips. We've finally cleared this dungeon. That means the master should be level 7 now. Vintan speaks. There was never any vengeful spirit illusion to begin with. From the moment we set foot in this dungeon, we were slowly entering an illusion caused by a thin poisonous gas. A pink flame gathers in his palm. He looks down at his hand as it comes into contact with the gas. Now my flames are strong enough to burn away the poison gas. It didn't burn before because my skill level was too low and its flammable property was suppressed. Another poison arrow shoots toward Vintan. He teleports out of the way just as the arrow flies past and explodes behind him. Enraged Namnya uses her multiple poison darts skill. Die D. Quick as a flash, he dodges left and right, avoiding all of her poison projectiles. In an instant, Vintan closes the distance and with a single strike slashes right through Namnya's body. To his surprise, the wound slowly regenerates with poison. Vintan is astonished. Self-healing. Namnya screams, That's going to leave a scar. Now I can't wear a bikini. You bastard! The flame on his right hand clashes with her poison. The two attacks collide, creating a massive shockwave. Namnya smirks. It seems you have a short memory. When my poison meets your fire, it evaporates into a toxic gas that will eat away at your shield all over again. You'll just get poisoned again. Vintan's eyes glow crimson. Oh, is that so? He lunges forward and grabs her hand. Incinerating flame. The fire erupts violently, catching her by surprise. A cataclysmic explosion detonates with her at its center, blasting everything around her. A moment later, the spot where she stood has been vaporized with nothing left behind. Vintan gains 400 experience points. But then something catches his eye. In the distance, a charred Namnya is running away. Her eyes are filled with killing intent as she runs and regenerates. Lucky for me, that decoy trick fooled him again. I'll get away for now. Once I've recovered, I'll be back to settle the score with you. Even if I can't beat you, I'll make sure to finish off the rest of your teammates. Suddenly, Namnya senses a slash whistling past her head. She quickly leans back, dodging it. But it still slices off her two horns. An ambush. There's a sixth person. A hand touches her back. Wait, not a person, but a seventh. Bangditch appears out of nowhere behind Namnya. She's completely flabbergasted. Where did you come from? A blast of fire from his hand sent her flying. She fell to the ground like a scorched rat. A sharp slash materialized from thin air, slicing Namnya in half. Her upper torso flew straight into Sa Truong's mouth. It snapped its jaws shut, swallowing her whole. Bangditch tapped it on the forehead, angry. You just swallowed the boss! My lord, how are you going to turn her into a slave now? Spit her out. Hearing this, Sa Truong spat out Namnya's head. Vintan had appeared at some point. Looks like she's still breathing. Hearing his voice, she looked over in surprise. Everyone else immediately knelt and shouted, My lord, she was furious. You pathetic losers, you're all demons just like me. Why are you bowing to a human? I'd rather die than submit. Hearing this, he drew his sword. Then go ahead and die. Nyamnya screamed, So be it. Death is better than bowing to a human like you. Vintan's cold blade flashed, and her vision went black. A moment later, her vision returned. Namnya, restored to her original appearance, let out a moan. Thap Ho spoke up, So you're awake. Iakus thought to himself, Another troublesome one. Bangditch grinned, We've got another subordinate. Just then, she turned her gaze behind her, meeting Vintan's blazing red eyes. She immediately bowed her head. Greetings, my lord. Vintan's status screen level 7, Vintan. Demon Nightmare form has been upgraded. No longer consumes mana. Damage dealt and damage taken increased by 10%. Mana increased by 2. Acquired slave skills. Poison. Spit. Poison debt. Received vengeful spirit. Poison. Pearl fragment. Small bag of demonic ore. Demonic bloodstone. Bang. Ditch looked at his hand. I feel so much stronger now. This feeling of growing stronger alongside the master is amazing. Just then, Aylin ran up to Vinthan. Vinthan turned around. Aylin was holding both Fadea and Din Fong. Crying, she said, "The two of them, they're not going to make it. I've already used up all the basic healing potions on them. But their injuries are still so severe." He reassured her. "I'll treat them now." Iacus stepped forward. "My lord, there's no need for you to trouble yourself with such a small matter. A subordinate like me can handle this." With that, a golden light shot out from his hand. This boss was just short of the experience points needed to level them up. Otherwise, they would have been at full health. Vingtun's gaze was fixed on the two of them. But the strange thing was, earlier the minions appeared along with the boss, but now I can't sense them at all. During the boss fight, I'm sure I didn't hit any of the minions. So where did they go? Nyamnya came forward. "My lord, there are some treasure chests up ahead that only I know the location of." He turned to her. "Treasure chests. They have a chance of containing rare demonic ore or even equipment. This is good." Bang Dick was annoyed. "She just joined and she's already trying to prove her loyalty and get on the Lord's good side. This demon woman is so devious." Din Fong's complexion slowly returned to a healthy color, but his right hand couldn't be restored. Vinthan thought, their color is much better. Although the limb can't be regenerated, at least their lives aren't in danger. I'll find a high-level priest to treat them once we're out. Aylin, please take the two of them out of the dungeon first. Find a priest to heal them. Don't worry about the cost." She nodded. "Okay." Then he turned to Thap Ho. "Thap Ho, you go with Aylin just in case." Thap Ho replied, "Yes, my lord." He then turned to the others. "The rest of you demons in my demon space, follow me. We're going to open some chests." He was excited. "Great, I got an escort mission. I have to do a good job." Vinthan thought, that level 4 hunter is gone. He probably ran as soon as the boss fight started. Aylin and the others have the level 7 Thap Ho with them. They should be fine for now. Aylin walked on with Din Fong and Fadea accompanied by Thap Ho. He looked up and asked, "Why are you still covering this dwarf with a cloth?" She blushed. His armor was destroyed by me. I can't just let him be naked, can I?" He grumbled, "A demon species like me from my past life to this one. I really can't understand this behavior of yours. Teammates are meant to be used, and you're worried about whether he's naked or not." Suddenly, something was triggered under his feet. Thap Ho reacted instantly, his eyes darting down. He quickly jumped up, dodging the leg trap. Unexpectedly, a chain flew from the left and wrapped around his arm. It dragged Thap Ho to the ground like a dog. He angrily sliced the chain, trying to ambush an expert ambusher like me. But from out of nowhere, a barrage of chains shot out like arrows. 3 more shot up from the ground. In an instant, Thap Ho was bound tight like he was in a spider's web. Aylin worriedly cried out, "Thap Ho!" She shouted, "I'll cut the chains for you." He yelled back, "A demon doesn't need your help. Watch your back." As he finished speaking, a pair of glowing red eyes appeared behind her. "Since when?" It was Chaungan. He wore a horrifying grin that stretched from ear to ear. Thap Ho used all his strength, twisting his arms continuously. With a roar, he broke free from all the chains on his limbs. He landed swiftly and charged at him. Chaungan spread his arms confidently. "I was just afraid you wouldn't come." Scene change. A treasure chest is opened and the light of demonic ore shines out. Vintun was surprised. "It really is a rare demonic ore." Namnya turned to him. "You're very lucky, my lord." Suddenly he sensed something and was startled. She asked worriedly, "What's wrong?" "My lord, are you not satisfied with the loot? There are still a few more chests up ahead. We can definitely get better items." He waved his hand. "It's not about that. Thap Ho and the others are under attack. I'm leaving the rest of the chests to you. Open them all." Gathered at the entrance below the Undercity, she nodded. "Yes, my lord." Instantly, Vintan vanished on the spot, leaving only dust in the cave. A splash of bright red blood stained the ground. Alan lay on the ground, his body covered in blood. As Chaungan and Thap Ho were fighting, he pointed to the ground and questioned, "So you planned this from the start, setting up an ambush on the path we had to take?" "What is this sticky stuff?" he asked, stepping forward. Don't waste your energy. That's my unique skill, Black Trap. With reinforcement magic, you can't get out, Chao Nyan said smugly. Just wait there until I'm done with you. Lying in wait to ambush your master, I wonder if he'll count the experience from just one person, or if he'll include the servant too. Thapho shouted, You think you're worthy of having an opinion about the Lord? Did you really think disguising your level as level 7 would work? He sneered, A disguise you think this looks like a level 7 disguise. The so-called visual level is just a visual representation to gauge the power gap between two sides. The person being observed can use a disguise-type skill, or an adventurer can suppress their own level to appear lower. But a high-level disguise is very difficult. Without the power to back it up, it's easily seen through. So what level do I look like to you, demon? He was stunned. You're really level 7 impossible. Even if you got a share of the boss's experience, there's no way you could jump directly from level 4 to level 7. Chang'an explained, I was already level 6 when I joined the party. And I didn't just get a share of the boss's experience? Where do you think all the minions in this undercity went? Thapho's eyes widened in astonishment. Chang'an continued, I lured the tens of minions far away from the boss, ensuring they were beyond the maximum range. To share experience, then I killed them all and took the experience for myself. Thapho nodded. So that's how it was. My lord, did you hear that? Chang'an aimed a slash at his head. Your lord isn't here, but I'll pass on your last words for you. Just then, a spark flew. With a loud clang, a sword blocked Chang'an's. Master Servant Dual Summon. Reverse Summon. From behind, Vin Than slowly appeared, his eyes sharp and filled with killing intent. He spoke up, I heard every word you just said. Chao Nan froze. A skill that can reverse summon. The Master Iake appeared behind him, drawing his sword. How dare you disrespect the Lord Dai? His two fingers channeled energy. Stone pillar trap. A stone pillar shot up from the ground, impaling him against the cave ceiling. At that moment, Vin Than dashed in front of him. He jumped, flipping in midair to dodge Chang'an's attack, and his feet landed softly on the ground behind him. Suddenly, a dome of thorny earth erupted from the ground, enveloping Vin Than. The trap, the loving embrace, closed shut, trapping him inside. Chang'an raised a friendly finger. Looks like you still don't get it. I didn't expect you to bypass the traps on the road and summon directly, but I already prepared a little gift package. A foolproof trap just for you. This cozy coffin was made especially for you. 1,000 stone spikes pierced through his body. Chang'an moved closer. No experience window yet. This guy can really take a hit. He's not dead yet. From above, a fireball appeared over his head. The flame shot down, engulfing the spot where Chang'an stood. When the smoke cleared, his body had turned to ash. Bangdik stood with his hands on his hips. Good thing I followed the Lord's will and summoned you out of there first. Did you take care of that guy? Vin Tun spoke, no experience points. The one who died was probably some kind of substitute. From a great distance, someone watched in silence. Chang'an stepped out from a disguise trap. Didn't expect this one to be so tough to deal with. Good thing I prepared a substitute trap beforehand. But it's not a big problem. The path from there to the Undercity exit is filled with my traps. I also have one that's perfect for... He hadn't finished his thought when he saw a monster sniffing the air. His face gradually turned pale, and sweat dripped down. He raised a finger to his lips for silence, but it was too late. It roared. Bangditch appeared from above. Oh, so this is where you were hiding. With that, he breathed fire down on the spot where he stood. Chang'an immediately ran from the trap to dodge his attack. Seeing the power of that attack, his face went pale. That damn fatty is so annoying, I wasted another substitute trap. I still can't deal with a flying target properly, but as long as you chase me over here, the ground spike trap over here can still hold you down. Suddenly, a sword appeared from the sky. Thapho from a distance threw his long sword, striking down hard. A black trap shot up from the ground towards the sword. In front, a series of earth pillars shot up, but the sword didn't stop. At that moment, inside the cave, a series of Chang'an's traps were activated. He collapsed. That demon knight not only isn't dead, but he used an AoE skill to trigger all my traps at once. I don't have time to set up new ones now. I have no chance of winning anymore. I have to run now. At that moment, a soft voice echoed from behind him. You can't run. It was Namnya. Her mouth was filled with venom. Poison spewed from her mouth onto Chang'an's head. Then she hit him with another blast of poison, disintegrating him. Vinthan gained 415 points and smirked. This experience window. Isn't some illusion you created, is it? Yamya bowed respectfully. I wouldn't dare, my lord. I've turned over a new leaf now. He looked over at Chaungan, who was slowly getting back up. Next, it's time to settle the score with this guy. He had transformed into the demon hunter Chaungan. He grunted menacingly. Namya laughed loudly. Now you're the runt of the litter. Bangdik spoke in a serious tone. Hurry up and call him Big Brother. He replied, All right, we've collected quite a few demons. I should give you all your assignments. Yakas, you're in charge of healing Erlin and the others. After that, take them to the nearest adventurer hospital, then transform into a human and keep watch around the area. Yes, my lord, he said, obeying. He then turned to the others. The three of you, your main task is to head to the Earth City and grind for experience. Remember, it has to be the newly revealed dungeon. Ignore any rare monsters that would take too much time to find. Experience is the most important thing. He smiled. Yes, my lord. Then Vinthan looked towards Chaungan. As for you, he trembled in fear, swallowing hard. The lord commanded, you and Noi Thapho will change your forms. You will return to your own guild, and tell them that I and my comrades have been killed by you. This will put them at ease. Then the two of you will remain in your guild. If you gather any intel, report it to me. Hearing that, the man relaxed. Yes, sir. Such a brilliant move. As expected of you, my lord. He commanded, disperse, and they all vanished. Only wisps of smoke remained. Scene change, another battlefield. Screams echoed. Healer, what are you doing? Why aren't you healing? Tank, what are you doing? Why can't you pull the boss's aggro? A level 10 wild boss, a giant fierce horseman, was chasing a group of people. They screamed in terror. If this keeps up, the entire party will be wiped out. Keep running. The high-rank adventurers are almost here. On a mountain, a figure was watching from afar. It was the warrior, adventurer, and master of the Chowhat Guild, Chowhat level 10. He stomped his foot onto the road with a steely thud. It sent the dry, crumbled earth beneath him scattering everywhere. Trakkak raised his shield. At this rate, no one's getting out of here. One healer, focus all your heals on me, said the priestess Kwakwa. The one with the defensive skill, use it first, I'll handle the rest. Trakkak stepped forward, and a blue shield of power materialized before his eyes. I've relied on this very move to tank a boss of the same level for 1 minute. Holding it off for 10 minutes should be no problem. A gigantic fist slammed into him. Trakkak's eyes widened in shock. The shield shattered into countless fragments, and he was sent flying. Trakkak crashed into a boulder, creating a massive indent. The crowd gasped, their mouths wide open. He was killed. But wasn't that a warrior's ultimate defense skill? They trembled as they looked up. This is it. We're dead for sure. The giant monster's bloodshot eyes suddenly flashed. Red pointed to the sky. Look! It's the master of the Chowhat Guild. He's here. Chowhat stood high above, looking down, his fist clenched. The people below cheered with relief. We're saved! Chowhat took a step forward into the empty space before him and shot down toward the monster. The monster, not to be outdone, threw its own punch toward Chowhat. He shot down, his hand also clenched into a fist, his eyes sharp. The two punches collided, creating an immense shockwave. Suddenly, the monster's head became horribly distorted. An immense power was gradually crushing it. The monster was slammed to the ground. The crowd roared in delight. He's so strong! The priestess turned to Red and asked, Will we be caught in the fallout over here? He waved his hand. Don't worry, we're standing plenty far away. Suddenly, the priestess's eyes widened in horror at the person in front of her. She covered her mouth as his body was torn apart by the pressure of the force. Earth and stone flew into the air. The crowd panicked and fled. The priestess was slammed to the ground by the pressure. She reached out a hand, tears welling in her eyes. Help me. I don't want to die. The priestess was crushed. The compressed ground created a massive explosion, leaving a huge crater in its wake. Inside the crater was the dark figure of a person. Something was flung out by the momentum, rolling over and over until it was stopped by someone's foot. Chaungan pressed the piece of scrap metal under his boot and looked up at Chowhat. The guild master is as merciless as ever. Even more ruthless than I am. Truly majestic guild master. Chowhat spoke up. Why did you run all the way out here? Aren't you afraid I'll pummel you into meat paste? He asked. The man replied, The guild master has such a kind and merciful face. Why would you ever raise a hand against me? As for these dead people, We'll arrange for Chao Dong to release a statement saying adventurers from other guilds trespassed on our territory during a boss fight and were unfortunately caught in the crossfire, and express our sincere regrets. Chao Hat scoffed. Enough with the nonsense. You came all this way for a reason. What is it? Chao Nan smiled and pointed to the sky. I bring good news. The culprit in the An Chu Thich case, along with his accomplices, have been killed by me. Chao Hat turned around. For a minor matter like this, you can just tell Chu Thich. There's no need to come bother me personally with it. He replied, Got it. He smiled slyly. Is the guildmaster planning to visit the angel again? Chao Hat's eyes widened in anger, glaring at Chao Ngan. He used his power to press Chao Ngan face down into the dirt. To Chao Ngan's astonishment, Chao Hat glanced at him and said, Next time you talk too much, those dozen puddles of flesh over there will be your fate. Chao Ngan trembled. Yes, Captain. Chao Hat vanished, leaving only Chao Ngan kneeling in the large crater. He looked up. Even though I've reached level 7, when I'm facing this damn lizard, I still get pinned to the ground and beaten. It's so frustrating. I hope my lord can level up quickly and surpass him. Later, when there's no work to be done here, I'll go grind monsters for experience too. At the angel's divine temple, Chao Hat knelt on the ground. Lord Angel, the person you suspected, the one who was lucky enough to survive 5 years ago, it has been dealt with. I hope that you might grant me an epic-grade Earth City key. A voice emanated from deep within the temple. You want a reward for such a trivial matter? Did I not already point out a wild boss? Yeah, in a certain region for you. So why is your experience so low? He replied. You jest, Lord Angel. Once an adventurer surpasses the level 10 threshold, they can no longer gain experience from low-level enemies. The experience I gain from enemies at my level is already so limited, not to mention how rare wild bosses are. I beg you, Lord Angel, please show some mercy. After all the dirty work I've done for you all these years. A guard at the door shouted, You have some nerve. He swung his sword towards Chao Hat. How dare you disrespect the Lord Angel? A voice from within the doorway shouted, Stop! The sword froze right above Chao Hat's head. It had already sliced a few strands of his hair. The voice from the doorway spoke again. If I hadn't picked you guys out of the dungeon myself, you would have been wiped out by adventurers along with the rest of your lizardmen tribe. Wouldn't it be much more comfortable for you to just go back to being the guild master of your pathetic little guild? Chao Hat bowed his head respectfully. Yes, Lord Angel. He turned his head in horror to look behind him. A long crack had appeared at his heels, splitting the ground in two. Chao Hat was fuming. Any one of these guards could kill me, and I don't even know the angel's true level. Resisting now is just asking for death. So you won't give me the key, huh? Then I'll just go to the market and get one. In a cellar, a shadowy doorway stood open with a figure beside it. The figure of a man slowly stepped through it. Ho Sung frowned and poked his head out. You're here to buy a key, too? Vintang was surprised. Yeah. Why do you say two? Ho Sung pulled his head back. Enough with the chatter. Let's go. Vintan stepped inside, following him. Vintan and Ho Sung walked up to a domed building where a man spoke up. I'm only letting you in because Chao Ngun from Chao Hat's guild recommended you. No fighting is allowed here. We have a very high-level archmage protecting us. If you cause trouble, you'll face the consequences yourself. The young man muttered in awe. Whoa, they hid the adventurer's black market inside the dungeon city. That way they can avoid being monitored by the angel. Absolutely genius. Ho Sung confirmed with confidence. You bet. Some of the best items that get snatched up by the major guilds on the outside, you can find all of them here. Especially the dungeon keys. That's what you're here for, right? Chongun already told me. Vintang didn't answer. He silently took a shining gold ingot from his pouch and secretly slipped it into the man's pocket. Vintang then put an arm around Ho Sung and whispered, It's my first time here, but I know how things work. A small token of appreciation, hope you don't mind. The man immediately gave him a thumbs up. Aye, you're good. It's been a long time since I've seen a newcomer who gets it. Follow me. I'll take you straight inside, no need to wait in line. Vinthan looked at the queue and exclaimed in surprise, Wow, the line is huge. Ho Sung explained, They're all here for keys, so of course they have to wait. You look like a total noob, so let me give you the rundown for free. Dungeon keys are something adventurers only have to think about. After reaching level 10, the dungeon is divided into 5 difficulty tiers. The lowest is the normal dungeon, which doesn't require a key. All dungeons before level 10 are in this tier. It's beginner-friendly with very low difficulty and dirt-cheap loot. Naturally, the experience points are low too. This type of dungeon maxes out at level 10 and the difficulty and rewards are pretty balanced. Next is the epic dungeon, which requires a key. The mobs give very little experience, the boss is pretty tough, but you can get some decent gear. After clearing it, you're rewarded with an epic dungeon key that's one level higher. The highest it can go is level 30. This type often has carry teams where high-level adventurers party up to help new players get top-tier equipment. Even so, a single careless mistake can cause even high-level adventurers to wipe. As for the legendary dungeon, it holds vast resources and a massive amount of experience. But the combat difficulty is insane to the point that even veteran adventurer parties have been wiped out. Clearing it rewards you with a higher-level legendary dungeon key. One level at a time up to a maximum of level 40. The boy posed a hypothetical. So, let's say I clear a level 40 legendary dungeon. Will the key still level up? The man answered, yes, the key will become level 41. Vin Tan pondered with a serious look. Doesn't that mean you can upgrade it infinitely then? The max level probably isn't just 40. Ho Sung replied, but so far no one has ever beaten a dungeon higher than level 40. Even if you get a level 41 key, there's nowhere to use it. See what I mean? He looked at the man, his face showing a clear sense of helplessness. Vin Tan suddenly remembered. Wait, didn't you say 5 tiers? What's the last one? Ho Sung waved his hand dismissively, his expression turning serious. No one who has ever entered the Hell Tier dungeon has come back alive. Don't bring it up again. Amidst a large hall where a crowd was gathering, a voice rang out. Attention, esteemed adventurers. The dungeon key auction will now commence. First up, we have a high-quality level 10 dungeon key. The starting bid is 50,000. A man in the crowd immediately raised his hand and yelled, 50,000! The bidding grew heated. 70,000 Nha Ting suddenly appeared and joined the auction. 80,000. He grew suspicious. Where did this woman pop out from? She gives off a strange vibe. Mystical red energy swirled around her feet, originating from the boy's hand. As he summoned, Nha Ting Ho Sung gently nudged Vin Tun's shoulder with his elbow. He whispered urgently, 100,000 should be enough. The total profit from a high-quality level 10 dungeon is less than 200,000, and that's before you pay your party members. He replied bluntly, I don't plan on bidding. Ho Sung immediately reminded him, you're only level 7. A high-quality level 10 dungeon is the lowest tier where you can gain any meaningful experience. If not this, are you planning to go to an epic dungeon to get yourself killed? A bidder raised 2 fingers and made a final offer. 120,000. The auctioneer on the stage excitedly threw up his hands. What a power move. Congratulations to this fine gentleman on winning the key. Immediately after, other people started gathering around him. Do you guys need a damage dealer? I'm a highly skilled assassin. Do you need a mage? I'm a super strong crowd controller with very slick positioning. How do we split the loot? Seeing this, he sneered and thought to himself, these 2 idiots are definitely going to lose money. The auctioneer continued. Next up for auction is another high-quality dungeon key. The last high-quality dungeon key has been sold. He then said loudly, next up is the main event of today's show. A level 10 epic dungeon key. Starting price, 200,000. The crowd of adventurers below began to buzz with discussion. Wow, the starting price is so high, but for an epic level dungeon, the rewards are incredibly rich. If you're lucky and get a top-tier item, you'll make a huge profit. But the difficulty is also very high. Even a high-level party isn't guaranteed to make it out in one piece. Not long ago, there was a team from the Flash Guild, a high-level adventurer party who led a client who wanted to skip the trash mobs and mini-bosses to go straight for the final boss's gear. They ended up wiping. Even the client died inside the dungeon. Just then, a firm voice rang out. 500,000. The appearance of Chow Hot stunned the surrounding crowd. Wow, that's cold blood. The guild master of the Chow Hat Guild. He's so generous. Bidding 500,000 for a level 10 key, I wonder if anyone else will bid. Who would dare bid against him? That guild master kills without blinking. I heard he's even got an angel backing him. Hu Sheng whispered, hey, you want that epic dungeon? You'd at least need to be as strong as one of his toes. Vin Than replied nonchalantly, oh, a few hours ago Chow Ngan informed you, my lord, that Chow Hat would also be at the auction today. Vin Tun stared straight at Chow Hat with a calm expression, his eyes showing a mysterious, thoughtful look. He walked slowly as he asked Chow Hat, do you know me? He immediately denied it. No, you, of course not. He leaves everything to us. Even if you got right in his face and attacked him, he wouldn't recognize you. Vintan continued to wonder, why did he suddenly decide to buy a key? And to upgrade. Chong'an leaned back on the bench and replied, he recently paid a visit to the Angel's Temple. He came back like this. He must have been shaken by something. Back in the auction hall, he threatened with an arrogant and confident look. Let's see who dares to compete with me. However, a clear voice immediately rang out. 600,000 Chow Hat's expression changed. He whipped his head around with a fierce glare. Who is it? His eyes fell on Ya Jing, who was standing with her arms crossed, looking at him defiantly. Chow Hat decisively raised one finger and shouted. The unbelievable price of 1 million made the surrounding crowd gasp in shock, and even the auctioneer exclaimed, Whoa! He then turned to ask Husung, Isn't this price a bit too high? He immediately analyzed. Although it's an epic dungeon key, it's still only level 10. 1 million is probably a loss. But right after Husung's expression suddenly became mysterious. Vin Tun also gave a cunning smile, his eyes flashing with a terrifying red glint. He decisively jumped onto the auction stage and ordered, Give it here, no one else is going to bid. However, not as Chow Hat had hoped, she continued to raise the price. 1,500,000? Chow Hat whipped his head around, his golden eyes wide with astonishment. It's you again! Ya Jing smiled and gave a defiant wink. He raised his hand and continued to bid, 2 million. She didn't back down either, immediately throwing out a higher price, 2,100,000. To Hat and Ya Jing went back and forth bidding against each other. 2 million. 500,000. 2,500,000. 3 million. 3,100,000. 4 million. 4,100,000. He was so angry that smoke was coming out of his nose, feeling like he was being mocked. Damn it! Is she intentionally bidding against me? That damn woman. Fine, you want to play games with me, right? Let's see how I turn this around and crush her. Chow Hat raised his hand decisively and shouted, 5 million? The crowd below buzzed with astonishment at his spending. Wow! The boss is so domineering as expected of the strongest at level 10. So generous. A 200,000 key has been bid up to 5 million. Chow Hat smugly waited for his opponent to bid. Just wait for her to bid, and then I'll fold. She gave a satisfied smile and said, Fold. I don't want it anymore. He paused for a moment in thought. Running a series of mathematical formulas in his head, Chow Hat seemed to realize the truth. He immediately flew into a rage and roared, Damn it, you dare to mess with me! Where's that damn woman with you? I'm gonna kill her when I find that woman. I'll definitely kill her. And everyone she knows. The scene changes to Vin Than and Husung. He spoke up. Sorry for making you come all this way for nothing. Who would have thought that crazy woman would show up out of nowhere and ruin it? He calmly replied, It's fine. Even if no one had ruined it, I doubt we could have gotten it from Chow Hat so easily. Husung turned and left. I have your contact information. I'll let you know if any top-tier items come up for auction in the future. A mass of black energy appeared next to Vin Than. Ya Jing emerged from it. He immediately praised her, Well done. Your grasp of the opponent's psychology is truly professional. She felt a bit regretful. It's a shame Chow Hat's money didn't end up in our pockets. A voice suddenly sounded from right behind Ya Jing. Who says? Her natural reflexes made her spin around. She was instantly facing the source of the voice. Ya Jing was on guard. You're that auctioneer? Eavesdropping on our conversation, I'll have to silence you. Her eyes suddenly widened in shock as if she just realized something. The man's eyes glowed with a golden hue. Stunned, Ya Jing pointed at him. So you're also a demon enslaved by the Great Lord, aren't you? He replied, That's right. Vin Tang recounted the events. At that time, I was down on the floor and had already noticed. Although I don't know why the one auctioning the dungeon key was a demon, it was the perfect opportunity for me to use him. She immediately understood everything. No wonder you suddenly gave me the order to raise the price. The man took out a card and handed it to him. After deducting the 1 million that needs to be submitted, there are still 4 million left on this card. Vin Tun held the card in his hand, unable to hide his satisfaction. Excellent. We now have the startup capital for the next phase. Nyating wondered, so what about the key? There was only one at today's auction. The phone screen displays a notification account credited with 500,000. Balance 507,364 dong. The assassin bowed respectfully before him. Thank you, my lord. Vin Tun held the key high with a triumphant look on his face. The key is in hand and for much cheaper than the auction house. Her face lit up with a mix of surprise and confusion. Why was the key bought at the dungeon entrance so much cheaper? As he walked towards the gate, he explained, that guy's entire team died inside the epic-level dungeon. He's lucky just to be alive. Meanwhile, a key here goes for almost market price. Not far from Vin Than and Na Tin, a reptilian creature was silently watching him. Chow Hot appeared by the base of a tree, lost in thought. Plotting something, he led his subordinates right to the gate. That woman got an epic-level dungeon key limited to 5 people. 2 people just went in. There's room for 3 more. Chow Hot pointed to his 2 closest subordinates and ordered, "You 2 follow me inside." The men's faces showed sheer terror drenched in sweat. Those 2 who went in are nothing, but fighting alongside our guild leader. We're so dead. He placed his hand on the gate but was thrown back by purple sparks. Access denied. Dungeon is locked. Chow Hat was furious and confused. What the hell? Didn't only 2 people go in? Why is it full? Meanwhile, his 2 subordinates were overjoyed that they didn't have to go with him. Yes, we get to live. Thank heavens, Chow Hat, fuming, decided to leave. We'll go clear our own dungeon first. We'll settle the score with them later. Inside the gate, Vin Than stood before his 4 slaves and spoke. Thank you all for your earlier efforts. He pointed to the status board above his head. So that I could reach level 10. Vin Tun turned to Chow Ngan and praised him. We tested it at the auction house. Your level disguise skill is quite effective. He replied cheerfully. If you wish, my lord, I can even hide your level completely. He clenched his fist and continued. Next, as a reward for everyone, I have good news. The status board displayed level 10. New skill, Novice Demon Legion. Slaves can turn slain enemies into their Novice Demon Imps. Novice Demon Imps have lower combat power than slaves of the same level, and the number of summoned imps cannot exceed the slave's level. Vin Tun announced, From now on, you can recruit your own underlings. His demon slaves cheered excitedly. Yatin suddenly paused, sensing something was off. She frantically looked around. Where's Bang Ditch? Chow Ngan saw Bang Ditch darting ahead and yelled angrily. That fatty has no honor. Natin was just as annoyed. He's gone off to pull monsters first again. Bang Ditch grinned slyly. This isn't like before where we all shared from the same pot. Anyway, in the end, our Lord will just summon us all back at once. He can sync our levels. Whoever recruits more imps will earn more favor from the Lord. And with that, the 3 of them immediately chased after him. You damn fatty! Wait for us, Vin Than spoke. Thapho, what's the situation outside? Outside another gate, he was observing from a high tree branch and reported, Chow Hat is leading his team to clear their own dungeon. System information ambush. You can ambush from the shadows, making you hard to detect. When you are completely silent and still, you are even harder to detect. Thapho continued, My new level 10 skill lets me hide in the shadows undetected. I'll wait here until they come out. On Bang Ditch's side, he approached a mine where the sounds could be heard. There are small mobs. Inside a mine, hundreds of small monsters were toiling away. The mine foreman immediately noticed Bang Ditch's presence. It spotted an intruder. It bared its fangs fiercely. Its status board appeared level 10 foreman minor. It pointed towards the intruder and ordered, Attack all the monsters. Under its command, charged forward in unison. He gave a confident smile. You're just asking for a beating. A brilliant green source of poison suddenly appeared right behind Bang Ditch. Like a rising tide, it flooded in, engulfing the entire space inside the cave. A green waterfall crashed down with terrifying power, annihilating the rat monsters in an instant. In the middle of the toxic flow, a protective sphere stood firm like an impenetrable fortress. Bang Ditch watched from inside, unable to help but let out a gasp of admiration. Whoa! He immediately spun around, his face filled with anger. Bang Ditch yelled, questioning her. You vicious woman, were you trying to take me out too? Nyating replied with a casual, somewhat sarcastic tone. Don't be so petty. Don't you have a protective shield? She suddenly exclaimed, We've been cherry-picked. Chow Ngan silently appeared and summoned his monster. He shouted angrily, Hey, do you have any shame? He retorted bluntly. We're all demons. What do we need shame for? Chow Ngan charged forward while ordering, Roar at him for me! The battle raged fiercely. The system continuously announced, Experience points plus 35. Vin Tun watched, extremely pleased with their new power. This way, the slaves can summon minions, instantly doubling the monster-killing speed. This is amazing. Cutting to another battle, a sword dealt a critical blow to a giant cockroach monster, sending yellow liquid splattering everywhere. The subordinate's body trembled as he breathed heavily. All around were the corpses of dozens of giant cockroaches. Chow Hot glanced at them with contempt and scolded, "A bunch of useless trash. Can't even clear an epic dungeon with 10 people of the same level. The boss has already killed several assassins. If I weren't here, you bunch of losers would have been dead long ago. The boss is up ahead. Look alive, all of you!" The subordinates shouted in unison. "Yes, sir!" On Bang Dick's side, a boss also appeared, the level 18 Ratkin boss emperor of the Earth Castle Mine, who held the fate of thousands of Ratkin miners. Before the boss could even react, he took it down in a single blow. As the boss fell motionless to the ground, a system notification chimed for a level up. He thought to himself, "My thralls are getting stronger and stronger. Even bosses can just lie there and wait to be turned into experience points now. This boss's power is pathetic." Unexpectedly, Vintan was startled, his brow furrowing in surprise. A mysterious black energy portal appeared right in front of the dead boss's corpse not long after. A level 11 epic Earth Castle appeared before everyone. Vintan gave his orders. All the loot collected by the imps and all the ore resources are to be handed over to Laker. You and Raz take it to the market to sell. He stepped through the portal and said, "Next." A colossal monster in chains thrashed about, surrounded by a brilliant green aura. System notification level up. One monster after another was defeated by Vinthan's thralls. Bang Ditch unleashed devastating attacks, effortlessly helping his master level up. The monsters were brutally crushed by the power of his demon thralls. He easily rose to level 19. This epic Earth Castle wasn't as tough as the rumors claimed. Bang Dick replied, "I can't believe people actually wipe in a place like this." Meanwhile, on Chow Hat's side, a subordinate was being pinned by a monster. He immediately cried out for help. "Guildmaster, save me!" His group was facing the boss, a ferocious level 14 Oxkin. With cold, sharp golden eyes, Chow Hat decisively raised his arm toward the boss. The skill he unleashed was so powerful it staggered the colossal monster. It was knocked down in an instant. Large cracks spiderwebbed across the ground amid a thick cloud of dust, a testament to the attack's immense power. Chow Hat growled, scolding them, "You useless trash! We've only just reached the level 15 epic stage, and there are only 2 of you left. I have no idea why I ever recruited you people into my guild." Just then, the subordinate's face suddenly went pale, sweat pouring down his face. "Guild master!" He immediately froze, slowly turning around with extreme caution. A massive, powerful leg emerged from a portal as its status window appeared. Oxkin Emperor boss level unknown. Faced with this unbelievable sight, the subordinate fell into a state of extreme panic, his thoughts racing. How could a monster actively cross through the portal on its own? Aren't there supposed to be magical seals to prevent monsters from doing that? Without letting the boss make a move, Chow Hat immediately launched a powerful forward assault. A massive wave of energy crashed down upon the boss's body. The attack kicked up a thick cloud of dust and sent debris flying. He confidently declared, "Even with the damage reduction from the level gap, there's no way it's completely unharmed. By my attack." However, as the smoke slowly cleared, Chow Hat's expression shifted from confidence to stunned disbelief. The boss's colossal shadow was still standing, its glowing red eyes pierced through the veil of dust. Meanwhile, outside the epic Earth Castle, a man sitting bored at a fee collection table suddenly noticed something, a change. A pair of legs leisurely stepped out of the portal. With a cool and calm expression, Vintan slowly walked out. A hand suddenly shot out, blocking his path. "Hold on a second." The toll collector made an absurd demand. "Pay the Earth Castle commission." Vintan asked back, "There's a commission now. What guild are you from?" The man boasted smugly, "Prepare to be scared. I'm from the Chow Hat Guild. Our guild master among the new guilds is basically in a league of his own. But he's always striving to improve, and right now he's trying to level up in the Earth Castle." He just asked coldly with a hint of a challenge. "And what if I don't pay?" The toll collector laughed heartily. "Just wait until our guild master gets out, he'll beat you senseless." Vinthan chuckled softly and pointed to the sky. "You mean him?" A large blue figure shot past over their heads. The entire forest suddenly began to shake violently. The Oxkin boss appeared at the same time, creating a powerful tremor. It left a trail of shattered trees and devastation in its wake. The bull used its immense strength to leap high into the air, then slammed back down to the ground, the immense pressure shattering the rocks beneath it. A young man standing nearby saw the bull and was utterly terrified. He gritted his teeth and bolted. "Oh my God, I've run into a living nightmare. Why is a boss running out of the Earth Castle? If I don't get out of here now, I'm going to die." A red alert popped up on a phone. A high-danger boss has appeared in the vicinity of Tiu Lao Mountain. All nearby tourists and adventurers are advised to evacuate immediately to avoid risk. The tourists scattered in a panic. "Run! Run! We need a high-level adventurer!" The bull raised its head, its eyes glowing red with murderous intent. Chowhat was crawling on the ground in a pool of his own blood when suddenly the bull slammed its fist into the earth. It effortlessly hoisted a giant boulder high into the air. The bull used its strength to hurl the boulder down at Chowhat. He thought in terror, "This is it! I'm too injured to move!" Chowhat shielded his head with his arm. Just as the boulder was about to crush him, a massive explosion erupted right before his eyes, originating from the nearby cliffside. Someone had used their power to shatter the boulder, saving Chowhat. It was a tan-skinned woman revealed to be Namhai, a level 30 mage adventurer and guildmaster of the Stardust Guild. The young man standing beside her looked on with admiration after that display. As expected of our guildmaster. A direct hit from such a long distance. Namhai thought to herself, but my spell wasn't even fully charged. Chowhat sat motionless on the ground. The dust from the explosion still hung in the air. Chowhat wondered, has a high-level mage arrived? A man emerged from the dust cloud. Chowhat looked up stunned and teary-eyed. It was an adventurer named Chow Ngan. He walked over looking down at Chowhat with a contemptuous expression. "Guildmaster, you're looking a little pathetic." Chowhat asked, "You brat, did you save me?" He replied, "Yes, sir," but thought to himself, though saving him wasn't my main objective. A look of suspicion crossed Chowhat's face. A hunter who relies on setting up traps was able to directly neutralize an attack from a boss with an unknown level. Why can't even I see what his level is? Don't tell me his level is already 3 levels higher than mine after just a few days. No. He's a hunter. He must have disguised his level. Dodging that attack? It must have been pure luck. It has to be. Suddenly, Chongun turned his head and looked up. A giant boulder was falling from above, hurtling straight towards where he stood. A moment later, a massive explosion erupted. Dust and smoke filled the air. The fierce bull let out a tremendous roar, creating immense pressure. Suddenly, something flew straight at its head. The bull turned to look in that direction, and the thing that had just struck it came into view. The young man named Chongun, a level 20 adventurer and hunter. He drew his bow equipped with the elite hunter set. The equipment's effect allows your trap damage to create a strong control effect increased by 20%. Over here. The bull lowered its body, tensing up. It leaped forward, shattering the hill it stood on, and charged violently towards Chongun. He fired an arrow, a hunter's net shot. The arrow Chongun fired opened into a massive net. The net completely ensnared the bull, trapping it inside. Caught in the net, it crashed straight into the ground, slamming into the hill. Chongun, who was standing there, then wondered, can't the Lord really use his Demon Shroud form? The upgraded Demon Shroud form can provide a very high bonus. The status screen showed Demon Shroud level 2. In this form, his attack power is increased by 30%. Damage taken is increased by 15%. All skills bypass fear resistance, which is reduced by 15%. The fear effect on the target is increased by 30%. Vin Tan said to himself while sitting on a stone bench. In Demon Shroud form, you guys will emit a terrifying demonic aura. There are too many witnesses here, and I don't want to attract too much attention for now. The person on the other end asked, if not, should we just eliminate them all? Vin Tan replied, no. Without my permission, you are not to attack humans on your own. After the bull's powerful landing, it still had strength left. It tore the net off its body and leaped up. The bull stomped down hard, shattering the ground. Immediately, traps hidden underground were triggered. Arrows shot out from the earth, flying straight up. Numerous arrows pierced the bull's body, causing it great pain. Chongun watched the scene from below. He couldn't help but think, the damage from a single ground spike trap is really limited. The bull, a level 24 boss named Minotaur Emperor Nam Hai, used its insight skill. The skill caused the level disguise to lose its effect, revealing the target's true level. But its effect only works if the target's level is not more than 3 levels higher than his own. A young man, level 30, an adventurer and warrior. The vice guild master of the Stardust Guild, named Thak Nam Hee, stood to the side and asked, "This boss is 4 levels higher than the hunter. What do you think?" His companion replied, "Although adventurers can sometimes defeat monsters of a higher level through clever tactics and class counters," Thick continued, "for instance, that person who failed to solo a boss 3 levels higher than them. But that person is a genius mage 1 in 1,000, whether it's movement or positioning, or the flexible use of skills no other adventurer can compare. Therefore, I don't think he stands a chance under this kind of pressure." His lips parted slightly as if he wasn't so sure. The bull ran along the cliff, chasing Chao Ngun. From above, he threw down an explosive trap. Stepping on it would trigger a violent explosion. Before it's triggered, it's concealed by a cloaking spell. The enemy couldn't detect the large, invisible trap on the ground, making it difficult to spot. As the Minotaur boss charged towards the trap, numerous sharp spikes shot out. A boom echoed as flames erupted from the trap. It burst into fire. The Emperor tried to reach out with its arm to escape the trap. Its body burning in flames was in extreme pain, and it also took damage from the sharp spikes. Thek judged, so he wants to use a kiting strategy combined with traps to wear this boss down to death. But that's still too naive. The boss went berserk from the flames. Boss has entered a frenzied state. The Minotaur boss continued to chase Chongun, who looked back at it. He couldn't help but think that the boss had gotten much faster after going berserk. Chongun held out his hand and a surge of power appeared in his palm. It was a black blade trap, summoning a patch of magical black blades. It has an extremely strong adhesive force and is very effective for restraining enemies. The trap was both sticky and black. As the boss ran past, it was hit by the trap. It resisted the black blade trap but was ensnared by it. Chongun drew his bow again, aiming to finish off the bull. Sharp arrows flew towards the boss, forcing it to block them with its hands. Thek judged again. "The trap isn't bad, but this kind of shooting is like trying to scratch an itch. Such a good trap is being wasted." Nam He frowned and said, "It's not that simple. Those arrows were another trap." It was an arrow trap. A simple trap attached to an arrow weaker than a preset trap. The arrows were embedded in the boss's body. They began to ignite. Immediately, a huge explosion erupted, creating thick black smoke that filled the sky. Thick was completely surprised by that move. Oh, it dealt effective damage. Nam He stared intently, then suddenly realized, it's still not enough. Chongun stood there with black smoke covering a large part of the sky. Vintan's voice said, "It's not over yet. Be careful." He didn't understand what. Suddenly, the boss was right above Chongun, leaping down. It crashed down from the sky, slamming into the ground. Chongun was sent flying far away. An arrow was shot out. Inside it was a net. When the net deployed, its ends attached to different trees. Between 2 large trees, a net was already set up. Chongun flew straight into the net without hitting the ground. In a pained voice, he said, "Man, this thing's hide is tough." Vintung said, "Barmaid, give me a hand." Nyatin walked over and said scornfully, "I thought you were too proud to open your mouth and ask." She continued, "You'd better hold your breath." Nyating raised her 2 hands to the sky, creating a source of energy around both arms. Poison palm. It created a patch of poisonous fog that obscured vision. A screen of mist enveloped the entire space. Chongun knew, "I'm not going to die by your hands." The scene shifted to the boss, who was also covered by the mist, its large body being concealed. The boss was recovering its strength. It took a deep breath and spread its massive arms wide, clapping with a powerful smack that caused a large patch of the fog to dissipate. The boss's mighty aura radiated out, clearing away the rest of the mist in the forest. Thak spoke up. Its presence suddenly became so thick. "It seems there are other minions nearby." The boss advanced toward the waiting net, its body covered in a lot of black, sticky goo. Chao Ngan confidently raised her hand, creating a source of energy in her palm. When the dark substance exploded, a massive blast erupted, disintegrating everything.